Okay, well. It happens. Hello, hello. No more echo, we're good. Whiskey Cactus here. Welcoming you back to Tales of Arise. And we're gonna jump on in. We were on Lenegus last we left off. And we were about to step into a warp. Now, there's no heal point. So I think we're gonna be okay to just walk into this. I don't think we're gonna have to fight anything else.
Soon, we might very well learn the truth behind Shion's thorns.
Yeah.
As well as my own past.
Yeah, we're gonna learn some stuff.
I have to be ready to face anything. Whatever happens.
We are going to learn some stuff. The only way is forward.
I'm determined to save Shion and Dana. Nothing I learn can change that.
This is true. I like how I still have the ability to turn around even after I said there's no going back. Well, here we go. We're going in. We are going in. And, oh. we have a whole ass, floor to go through. I'm not sure if there's gonna be enemies. There might not be. This is where we need to go.
What is it?
I want to look through that room over there. Curious what we'll find.
That's the room you visited in your past, right? Sure. We can check it out.
Yeah, so if you didn't notice, because we just kind of got here, if you look at this hallway...
You should go through that room.
Okay, fine, never mind. This is the place where we were in the flashback. Except it's in color now, it's not in grayscale. But yeah, so this room we were not allowed in. We were barred entry from this room in the flashback. But we can go into it now.
Looks like some kind of research facility.
A laboratory secreted away in the Forbidden Zone. Why am I past being surprised at this point?
Looks pretty deserted.
Let's check it out. It might give us a new lead.
Alright. I have a feeling we're gonna find some truth bombs in here. But first, skits.
The people of Lenegus, the Forbidden Zone is the stuff of dreams. Yet here I am, standing within its hallowed halls.
Mm-hmm.
It's off limits even for lords, then?
Of course.
Talk about an exclusive club.
Being exclusive is one thing, but how many important facilities let in only the Sovereign? Doesn't that seem a little strange?
Strange doesn't
Yeah,
cover
what would the
it.
Sovereign do with
If
all
it
this
was
stuff?
only one room, maybe. But a place on this scale? How do they keep it from falling into ruin? Whoever the Sovereign is, they can't manage the upkeep of this whole place themselves.
Yeah.
Did no one ever talk about it when you were growing up?
No, not that I can remember. Then again, sovereigns and forbidden zones weren't exactly breakfast table conversations.
The Forbidden Zone is a hallowed place, at one with the Sovereign's authority, grounds of the one true ruler who presides over all Renans. That is what we believed this place to be. No, what we were made to believe it was. But now, it is finally time to discover this area's true purpose, and why it was kept hidden behind the scenes for so long.
Okay. We gonna learn some answers? I think we're gonna learn some answers. I'm psyched. What? Something keeps popping up in my corner. What's going on? Oh, is it it's the star. That's it. Okay. Is there anything else to look at aside from the star? I feel like we gotta do the star first, and then we can do other stuff. Yeah, let's just do the star. And see what happens. Oh, okay. Excuse me. Can I jump over these? Thank you. Alright, let's do the thing then.
I think I can make this work.
Well, that's convenient.
Well, can you make head or tail of it?
These are experiment records by the looks of it. Reams of them, dating back hundreds of years. Let's see.
Hundreds of years, you say?
A composite being capable of controlling Danon astral energy so as to convert its molecular and elemental makeup. The creation of a governing central figure taking the form of a Danon. Codename Sovereign.
Codename?
Sovereign.
Wait, there's more. Research into utilizing force field crystals for the purpose of stable astral energy containment. That must be the master course.
Must be.
With all this raw data, there's bound to be records here somewhere about the Maiden and the Lords, too.
About the Lords? Why would they be on there?
Think about it. The Lord's crests are clearly of a piece with those of both the Sovereign and the Maiden. Not to mention the fact that the contenders to the crown are selected from otherwise regular Renan citizens. In other words, it may be that all Renans are unwittingly being made subject to some kind of grand scheme.
By whom?
What about the Sovereign? Does it say anything else?
Thought the Renans were
Where
in
do I
charge
start?
here, man.
All I've read so far is the headlines. There's so much here. To sift through all of it would require specialized... Wait,
What is it? Did you find something?
it's a list of names, with the title Test Subjects, Sovereign.
Oh.
It's your call.
Oh, you better open that
Read
file.
it. There must be dozens of test subjects listed here. Hundreds even. All of them failures. Wait, I think I've found one that was successful.
Did it happen to be called Alphen?
Test subject number 1273. Ethnicity, NA. Unique adjustment index, generation, NA. Given name, Alphen.
Hey, that's me. I'm in a Renan computer.
They re-engineered me. Right here in this lab.
Yeah, they sure did.
Alphen.
It's fine, really. What about the others? Was I the only one?
Test subject number 10105. Ethnicity, NA. Unique adjustment index, generation, NA. Given name, Volron.
Yeah.
Volron?
Yeah.
That means
He's only sovereign because someone made him that way.
Uh-huh.
too.
What does that also mean, though? What does that also
It's the
mean?
last one. In 3 centuries worth of records, you and Volron are the only 2 subjects on whom the experiment was a success.
And what does that tell us about Volron?
But what about the winners of the crown contests? Does this mean that none of them were ever crowned sovereign after all?
Upon victory,
Is there
the
even a
shall
sovereign?
return to Rena and rule over
Like an
Rena and
actual
Lenegus
sovereign?
combined. When a new sovereign is decided, the outgoing monarch shall relinquish their post and live out the rest of their days on Rena. So we were told. But according to these records, there have only ever been 2 sovereigns, neither of whom had anything to do with the crown contest.
Indeed.
It's all lies, including the part about the sovereign residing in Rena. The crown contest was never about deciding a new ruler. It must always have been devised for some other purpose.
Sure seems like it's just harvesting a lot of astral energy.
But even supposing that's true, someone must have been in charge for the past 3 centuries, right? If it wasn't the sovereign, then who was it?
That's the important question.
Crown
Now you're
contests
asking the
have
right
been held
questions.
This whole time, in spite of the fact that there was already a sovereign. Me. Meaning that for the past 300 years, someone out there has to have been maintaining that lie. The
And
same
it's not the
person I'm willing to
Lords.
bet is behind all this.
Because Dohalim doesn't know any of this either.
The Red Woman?
Maybe.
it's possible. But that doesn't necessarily mean she's the mastermind behind this scheme. She could be working for someone else. Someone back on the Renan homeworld.
Who actually is on the Renan homeworld?
Either way, it's fair
Because
to say
nobody
she's
on
definitely
Lenegus has ever
involved
been
somehow.
there.
What
As a
about
matter
the
of
data
fact, no
records? Is
Renans
there no other information that could help
that
us?
we've seen or heard of at all have ever
Not that
been
I
on the
can
Ren
see.
and homeworld.
Just file upon file of experiment results. There's nothing here about who's behind all this, or what their endgame is, unfortunately. I've barely
That's really
managed
kinda
to
creepy
scratch
if you
the
think
surface,
about it.
mind you. You won't be able to read through it all, but you're welcome to take a look through what you can while we're here.
That was a very cool reveal. But at this point, I remember first time playing
I'll
through
do
it.
that.
Head spinning, like, just trying to think of theories.
So this is where
Oh,
Alphen
man.
became the Sovereign. And Volron as well. The
So,
significance of this location would suggest...
Hey,
as we
it looks
can
like the
surmise,
terminals in here turned on too.
We should look through them. They
Volron
might contain valuable information.
is a...
Only 2 sovereigns in over 300 years. So why has the experiment only succeeded twice in all this time? And if that's the case, why keep on doing it? Was there really no other way? Or could there be some other reason?
Dohalim.
Forgive me.
Alphen.
I'm fine. I'm just a little shaken, that's all. I knew what I was already, so it's not like it's a surprise or anything. But it's strange. I've got all this rage inside of me, but I don't even know who it's for. I'm scared that I'll put a face to it, just to have someone to blame.
If that were to happen, then No. Then we'd help you fight it, before you ever got that far. Wouldn't we, everyone?
Of course,
Yeah.
because power of
We
friendship.
wouldn't just sit by and watch you spiral out of control.
That's right. No good can come from being consumed by hatred.
If you ever start to lose your way, you can count
Bro,
on
what
us
if
to guide
Alphen's
you
been
back,
behind it the whole time?
to remind you where home is.
And I would be happy to lend an attentive ear, should you ever have need.
Thank you.
I would love for
I
there to
think
be
I'll
like a
be okay
JRPG,
now.
like a Tales style RPG, where the main character is actually the main bad guy. And maybe the main character knows it and maybe they don't. But like, how cool would that be? Select a topic to explore. Master Cores. Master Cores are instruments of power containing astral energy that belongs to one of the 6 elements. 5 of these Master Cores, those with earth, water, wind, fire, and light, that's the order they show up in the sentence, are loaned to Renin Lords at the time of the Crown Contest. Only the Dark Master Core is maintained inside the Forbidden Zone until the Renis Alma is ready to be reformed, its existence kept top secret. Underneath the Master Core's spherical outer layer is a force field crystal used for the purpose of astral energy containment and stabilization. Inside the force field, astral energy is stored in a dormant state. During the duration of their tenure, each lord competes in the Crown Contest to amass their allotted type of astral energy. In the event of an emergency, each lord may be allowed to withdraw from their respective stock of astral energy as necessary. However, the extent allowed is determined based on their own individual strength. Addendum 1. Design flaws have been discovered in how the Renis Alma materializes. Be advised that active Master Cores may resonate with other Master Cores located in close proximity and become unstable. Addendum 2. Due to successful regeneration of the Renis Alma, Master Cores will cease to be deployed, and the Crown Contest will be permanently halted. Spirit Cores. Spirit Cores are N-terminals used for the collection of astral energy. When embedded in a biological subject, it establishes connections throughout its body. These connections are used to amass astral energy generated from physical activity, which is then emitted from the host body itself. Because this emitted energy is prone to diffuse, the host must be placed within range of a spirit vessel for the energy to be collected. This means the Danans must be employed to harvest the astral energy for the purpose of the Crown Contest. Given the difficulty of producing them, it is advised that Spirit Cores be retrieved from host bodies and reused upon their death. Spirit Cores can also be embedded in Zeugles to control them via astral arts. Addendum. Increased physical load on a host body tends to produce increased astral energy emissions. Final confirmation of ideal workload to impose on host bodies without inducing death for maximum astral energy yields is still pending. Alright. Well, we've learned a little bit of things there. What other terminals you got with more information? Select a topic. Lenegus, a large-scale astral energy converter. that primarily converts the elemental composition of Dana's astral energy and transmits it to Rena. So it's a conduit between Dana, which it sucks out the astral energy from Dana, primarily through the crown contest, and sends it back to Rena. Interesting. Activation and control of astral energy conversion is achieved by placing the Sovereign, Maiden, and Rena's Alma within the central core of Lenegus. So activation and control of astral energy conversion is achieved through, it seems like, the ceremony. It is comprised of classified and essential personnel residence zones. It is comprised of classified and essential personnel residence zones around a large conduit, along with a defensive layer surrounding them. This outer layer is deployed upon activation, unlocking the central conduit while simultaneously functioning as the stabilization mechanism. Due to its design, deployment of the outer layer is expected to cause damage to residential zones, as we've seen. However, because that only takes place during the final stage of the spirit channeling ceremony, no contingency plan to address said damage is needed, because fuck them. Who cares? Until that phase, Lenegus serves as the central base of operations for the management and execution of the Crown Contest on Dana. Warning, any personnel with level 3 authority or lower is strictly forbidden from the classified zone. All violators will be immediately executed. Oh, detachable harvester. I assume that's the wedge. A massive spirit vessel placed on Dana for the spirit channeling ceremony. Interesting. It serves as the tip of Lenegus's conduit from which it separates. Upon landing in Danan waters, it extends 2 sets of conducting pathways. Vertical pathways connect to the center of Dana. Meanwhile, the horizontal pathways proceed to envelop the entire surface of Dana. Once activated, it links to the biological spirit vessels placed in each realm, efficiently harvesting the planet's astral energy and mass. The accumulated energy is then transmitted to Rena via Lenegus. Because construction and adjustment take place in the Forbidden Zone's regulator area, oh my god, I can read. Lenegus's outer layer must be deployed prior to launch. Intended to function semi-autonomously, only maintenance personnel are expected to manually interface with it when necessary. No other personnel is required for it to function. Addendum 1. Detachable Harvester 1 was lost on Dana after exploding due to the rampancy exhibited by the Sovereign. That was me. I did that. Addendum 2. Detachable Harvester 2's landing point will remain the same as that of the previous model. That was the wedge. This is due to the explosion of the previous model, which altered the planetary topography, enabling easier connection to the center of Dana. My bad. Sorry, guys. Kind of fucked that one up. Alright, what else we got? Anything back here? A notice. This area will now be shut down as the project proceeds to the final phase. Oh dear. What does that mean? It's showing Lenegus structures. You can see pipes for transporting astral energy sticking out of them. Showing the room's equipment hasn't been used in a long time. Alright, so this has been unused for a while. What do we got here? Sedative Mask. Oh boy. A device covering the wearer's whole face that restricts their mental activity. It was developed for the purpose of pacifying prisoners. Medical applications are also recognized, particularly as a means of preventing patients from sustaining mental trauma. However, doing so is not recommended, as prolonged use of the device carries the risk of inducing a number of adverse side effects, like not feeling pain anymore, maybe. Addendum. Due to the loss of production facilities incurred from the partial destruction of Lenegus, again, that was me, additional devices will no longer be manufactured. Alright, brainwashing report. That sounds great. After receiving reports of a robust new form of rule emerging in Dana's water realm, that would be Volron, a study was commissioned to investigate the matter in depth. This system is unique in that it elevates only the Lord as the supreme authority while relegating both Renans and Danans alike to enslavement. Test subject 10105, we know that's Volron, serves as the realm's current lord and has achieved this without the use of any special powers, drugs, or special devices. Rather, it has done so by sheer governance. Interesting. Given this method's effectiveness at population control, monitoring the situation will continue. Addendum 1. Collapse of cognitive facilities via extreme mental repression rooted in violence and fear has proven to be key to this style of rule. Once a subject loses its autonomy, they become desensitized to fear and subsequently cease to prioritize even their own personal safety. Though such a state is ill-suited for commanding officers, it remains an effective way to cultivate disposable infantry and slaves for manual labor. Addendum 2. Soldiers in Lenegus who have undergone this treatment will be asked to secure classified sectors as a trial. The results will be monitored. Well, shit. Alright, anything else before I read that? Is there anything over here? There's a thing here. What is this? Operating table. Many subjects undoubtedly never came back alive from their operations on this. Lovely. Anything over here? Nope. Anything over here? Nope, nope. Nope, nope, nobody, nope, nope. Okay, we've got this one. Lords. Each crown contest, 5 of the best qualified members of the Renan populace are chosen to act as lords, vying to serve as the next sovereign. During their tenure, they are granted level 3 authority, as well as one of 5 elemental realms to administer and its corresponding master core. They are also assigned an ID crest indicating their designated element. The selection process is based only on astral artistry and physical and mental aptitude. Other variables, such as age, have no bearing whatsoever. Because only the strongest go on to become lords, the position itself does not inherently make an individual any stronger. It should be noted, however, that lords are not the only individuals capable of drawing out a master core's powers. All Renans must take part in the selection process, and acceptance of the position is mandatory. It is not allowed for those deemed suitable to decline. Furthermore, in the event that an acting lord is incapacitated and can no longer serve in their position, a replacement must be quickly prepared. Unique Adjustment Index Test Subject Report. Following is a report on the second successful case of Sovereign Test Subject Experimentation. Test Subject 10105, given name Volron. Generation NA. Unique Adjustment Index. Ethnicity NA. Although subject possesses high latent potential, it exhibits significant mental instability, along with a strong distaste for following orders. As such, the risk it poses surpasses even those of the last successful subject. That's me. Itself a failure. Sure am. And is therefore under consideration for disposal. Addendum. This is the first successful case in 300 years. Previously... Oh, so Volron is like now. They did him now. Like not for a while ago, and he was also frozen in time like I was. No, this is like very recent. Previously mentioned risk factors are now mitigated due to established control protocols. Subject is to be evaluated under the assumption that Plan 2 will proceed and will be dispatched to Dana under the guise of serving as a lord. And so he was. And so we killed him, we think. Select a topic to explore. The Sovereign. Sovereign acts as Lenegis' central control device for the spirit channeling ceremony. Each one is granted level 2 authority and an ID crest. A Danan subject serves as the base of its creation. Again, what does this imply about Volron? He is, in fact, a Danan. In theory, ideal candidates possess equal affinity for every astral element. I guess. I don't know. I seem to just have fire. However, such aptitude is statistically rare to uncover within real-world conditions. As a result, most subjects die during the adjustment period, and stability is still not guaranteed for those who survive it. This instability, coupled with Sovereign's powers of astral manipulation, pose a high risk to the security of Lenegis if left unchecked. Yeah, as I proved when I destroyed Lenegis. As such, stabilization measures must be put in place via the support mechanism when utilizing the Sovereign in the spirit channeling ceremony. Addendum 1. No effective alternate methods to perform the ceremony have been found. Trials on Danan subjects are authorized to continue. Addendum 2. Unit 2 adjustments are a success. Subsequent adjustments are to be put on hold while extended observation takes place. The Maiden. The Maiden acts as the Sovereign's support mechanism for the spirit channeling ceremony. Each one is granted level 2 authority and an ID crest. A Renan subject serves its functions, providing the Sovereign with the supplemental dark astral energy it lacks in tandem with the Renis Alma. During the ceremony, is partly responsible for astral energy conversion, as well as maintaining stability over the Sovereign's own powers. Additionally, the degree of intimacy between it and the Sovereign has been observed to positively impact the level of stability in both subjects. Because of this, trial activations of the Sovereign without the Maiden present are expressly forbidden. Furthermore, neither the Sovereign nor the Maiden are to be informed about the details of the spirit channeling plan. Addendum 1. Mental instability in the Maiden has been deemed the cause of the past sovereign's rampancy, so it's Naori's fault. Countermeasures must be considered, and I believe it was when the Thorns got created, it seems like. Addendum 2. In line with plan adjustments, the current subject will have its Maiden registration revoked and be returned to its original household. So, we don't know what happened to Naori, really. And here I was hoping, oh, Naori's gonna be like such an important character. Really hoping that Naori plays a huge role, and maybe even as like, maybe a final boss or something. That'd be cool. I'm not gonna say anything about that, I'm just saying that's kind of where my mind was at the time. Life bottle times 3, I'll take. Need them. We've got nothing over here. We've got this. This was the room, by the way. A room unchanged over 3 centuries. It's like time itself has stopped here. This was the room that we were in the flashback. And this was the room we had to go into to, like, talk to people in our flashback. So this looks nice and familiar. What can we poke around and find out here? Anything interesting in here? We've got something over here. What is this? I notice this area will now be shut down as the project proceeds to the final phase. We've seen that before. That's something. Hold on. Got anything here? Nope. We've got this. We got a grape gel. Sweet. We'll take. What's this? It's equipment for monitoring subjects. It probably had a failure disposal mechanism as well. That's what I like to hear. Alright, and then we got something over on this side. See lots of numbers, looks like logs of alignment between subjects and Lenegus proper. Alright. Well, that's it for in here. Now we have yet another warp point. Hey, that's me with the mask. Yeah, that's Naori.
Naori, I...
Don't talk. I have to do this. I gave you my word that I'd help you return to Dana. The next time you open your eyes, you'll be home.
But you...
My place is here with my people. I still have a duty to fulfill. I'm sorry for what you've endured. Rena never should have dragged you into this. It's not your burden to bear.
But...
The mask contains a sedative. It should keep your mind from tearing itself apart any further. Let yourself go to sleep.
For 300 years.
This should help with the pain.
Yeah, I would say it helps with the pain.
Time to go, Elfin. Farewell.
And then I woke up in
His injuries are worse
Calaglia
than I
300 years later.
Short-term treatment isn't going to cut it. I'll have to switch the healing pod to long-term hibernation mode.
Yeah, clearly.
The chance of surviving hibernation's less than 10%? And worse, long-term use of the mask carries a high risk of damaging his mind and nervous system. But...
Oh?
If I don't head back, Lenegus will be nothing but ashes. And this starship along with it. I don't know if I can fulfill my promise to you, Alphen. But if doing this will grant you even the slightest chance, I have to try. I hope it's enough. Please, live for me, Alphen.
Welp.
That vision. It must have been from when Naori helped Alphen escape Lenegus.
Indeed.
She sure went above and beyond the call of duty.
That farmer's
Even
outfit
with
is
Lenegus
killing me.
crumbling down around her, she chose to stay put with her people.
So that's why you lost your memories and sense of pain, and why you were asleep for that whole time. It was all the result of one agonizing decision Naori made to save your life.
Yeah. If it weren't for her, I wouldn't even be alive today. I owe her everything. More than I could ever hope to repay.
Now that you know how she felt, how do you plan on honoring her wishes?
She kept her promise. If the Renan people she fought so desperately to protect are at risk from a malevolent force, then I owe it to her to carry on her fight. Naori was the one who put that mask on me, and made me Iron Mask.
Indeed.
She did it to prevent your soul from tearing itself apart. She knew you might lose your memories and sense of pain as a result. But more than anything, she wanted you to survive. And you did.
Sure did. Alright, what's next? Now where are we going? Oh boy. This looks interesting. Nothing over here, just an empty hallway. Cool. Kind of pointless. What's over here? Oh, not nothing. This has a treasure chest. We've got a heavy treat. Yeah, yeah, please. I will take that. For sure. Hello. This looks like the wedge a little bit. That door looks very similar to,
This
Oh boy.
place. We've seen this in one of Naori's memories.
Of course. After 300 years, this is where it was held. The spirit channeling ceremony.
Uh-huh.
This is where the Renis Alma was.
So this is the place where you and Naori...
The Renis Alma isn't here now. Nor is the Red Woman, it seems.
I know it's difficult, Alphen, but there will be time to dwell on the past later. For now, we need to keep moving. Come on.
Aye, aye. Oh boy. What are we doing? What are you guys doing?
Naori.
What is this? Is it the work of Dana's will again?
It's been a year since the ceremony. That day, I shut away inside of myself the power that caused Alphen to lose control. Since then, my visions of the future have grown more and more fearsome.
Is this another memory? No, it's different this time. It's like she's speaking directly to us.
What we did back then. Not so much as a day passes when I don't think about it. About what was done to us. All in the name of a ceremony. The purpose of which we were never even told. As Sovereign, they linked Alphen's consciousness to Lenegis itself. The Renis Alma was intended to control his power, lest anything should slip through its cracks. That day, as Maiden, my role was to temper his power. I was meant to guide it forth, and give shape to the strength inside of him.
Linked to Lenegis itself? But then, everything that's been happening...
But that power showed me a vision. A vision of oblivion. When I realized that vision was a prophecy of the apocalypse we were about to unleash, I couldn't go through with it. But without a maiden, the ceremony was doomed. Alphen lashed out, his consciousness no longer his own. I did what I could. Using my abilities as the maiden, I tried to seal that power away inside of me. But it was too late. Lenegus had already been brought to its knees. Thousands upon thousands of lives so cruelly snuffed out. All because of me. Because of what I had done. With the destructive force now slumbering inside of me, I knew I had to find a way to dispose of it. Anything to make up for my failure. But I didn't know how. Especially since that power was astral energy itself. In which
Astral
case,
energy
ironically
itself.
enough, the Renis Alma seemed to be my best bet. That, at least, would hold the astral energy dormant. Assuming that no malevolent third party got to it first. With the Sovereign and Maiden's combined power, perhaps I could shift the chaotic energy inside me into the Renis Alma instead.
Interesting.
That's what I hoped, but alas, it was not to be. The Renis Alma was lost, and Alphen the Sovereign was in a starship bound for Dana. My only choice was to seal away the destructive force inside of me using my powers as the Maiden, to buy the world what little time I could. The time needed for a new Renis Alma to be crafted, and for a new Sovereign to appear. Even if by doing so, it meant I would be passing the curse onto my descendants as well. Please, forgive me. I never meant to burden the future world with this threat too. I only wish that there was something more I could have done.
Wait, you can't just...
Well, that's interesting.
Naori. That message just now, was it directly from Naori? Or was it the Danon voice speaking through her?
What?
Well, that's a
These are
good
the
look.
clothes that Naori and I wore during the ceremony 3 centuries ago.
So you're saying this is the Maiden's outfit?
Yeah,
That's right.
kind of
These
is.
clothes are designed to
Interesting that
resonate with
all
the
of that
Sovereign
hair
and
was
Maiden's
able to
abilities.
just kind of
They
get nicely,
focus and
neatly
enhance
tucked up.
them.
And they appeared now because...
Naori must have left them here for the new Sovereign and Maiden, knowing the day would come when they would need them in their fight against the Thorns.
But I'm not the new Sovereign. Valron's the new Sovereign.
These outfits are directly linked to the answers we've been chasing this whole time. If they're here, it must mean it was Naori's will for us to find those answers as well.
Locating the Renis Alma would allow us to neutralize the dark astral energy inside Shion, thereby silencing her thorns. Is that what Naori's suggesting?
Yeah,
It makes sense.
sure seems like it.
After all, Master Cores and Spirit Vessels are both able to prevent the astral energy inside them from developing sentience.
Mm-hmm.
By that logic, it would stand to reason that the Renis Alma would have the same ability on a larger scale.
We have a maiden in
So if it suppresses the dark astral energy from gaining sentience,
now all we need
that
is the
would
Renis Alma.
shut down the
We'll
Thorns.
finally be able to free you of your thorns.
Because that's the idea of the Thorns, is that they're dark astral energy
Shion.
with sentience.
It's possible? You really think so?
I do.
Seems like
We
it's
can rid you of
possible.
your thorns
We don't
and
really
stop the
know
world
totally
from falling into
how.
oblivion.
However, the spirit channeling ceremony already failed once.
Right.
Even if our goal is different this time, we can't be sure the same thing won't happen again. We should take care not to be too optimistic.
You're right. It's the barest sliver of a chance. But if there's even the slightest hope it can work, I'm willing to stake everything I've got on it.
So we just need the Renis Alma.
I know it's too early to let myself feel relieved, but I just can't seem to help it. Just hearing there's the slightest chance, even though I know the world's still in great peril. It's selfish of me, I know, but still.
No, it isn't. You found hope to believe in. It'd be strange if you weren't over the moon about it.
Rinwell's right. We can rid you of your curse and still save the world at the same time.
Thank you. Naori entrusted us with the fate of all humanity. Now, it's up to us to prove that trust was well placed.
Starting with a little game called Hunt the Renis Alma.
Yeah, that's what we
we've come all
need.
this way.
It's the
Now
only
we
thing
just
we're
need
really
to search
missing.
Lenegis and Rena until we find it.
Yeah, we can protect the world and save Shion at the same time.
I too shall lend my services. My knowledge of Renin lore is bound to be a useful asset.
And they say modesty
You say
is dead.
knowledge of Ren and lore, but you don't know any of this stuff, dude.
Miracles just seem to follow wherever you go, huh?
How do you know it's me they're following? We're all in this together, Shion. You included. Now let's get moving, shall we? Last I heard, we had an apocalypse to stop.
Well, that's a hell of a line.
Thank you, Naori.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping Naori would maybe be evil, but nah.
So Naori sealed away the power that made me lose control of myself. She stopped
It's fine.
my rampage and saved my life. But then, that power she'd sealed away was passed down to you. I'm so sorry, Shion. It's my fault that you're cursed.
You're wrong. What happened to you was because of the ceremony, and Naori's attempt to stop Oblivion. You paid a heavy price for it, and then fell asleep for 300 years.
Well, when you
The
put it that
reason you
way.
lost your memories.
Is the reason for your curse.
The thorns.
It all leads back to them. But once they're gone, we can finally put an end to all this.
When my thorns are gone, I never dared to dream that such a thing could be possible. No, the truth is, I think maybe I've always been dreaming about a life without my thorns. The touch of my family, or playing with my friends, holding hands with Rinwell, or giving Law a deserved smack, embracing
off, Law.
everyone. All the normal things that people do together. I always wished I could experience them for myself, and finally know what they were like. Is it really okay for me to believe it can happen? I'm so scared of getting my hopes up. What if it doesn't work out in the end, and...
That's not going to happen. I'm here to make sure it won't. Forget fate or destiny or anything else. We're going to live a normal
Yeah.
life. There are a lot of things you still want to do, right?
Yeah, you're right. It's such a strange feeling. I know that we've still got plenty of fighting up ahead, and it's for my sake, so I can live.
You're worth fighting for.
I believe you, Alphen.
Good. I'll keep on fighting. For as long as it takes. Until our future is finally in our hands.
Alright. Well, we just unlocked Shion's latest maiden. CP restoration when full sounds pretty great. Revitalize sounds even better. Oh man, these are all really good. Alright, we need Revitalize. Let's scoop that up. And we'll also scoop up reduced art casting time during combos. Revitalize. What a good move. It's a very good move. That's an old classic move. It's a very classic move. That was one of the 7 phonic hymns was revitalized, wasn't it? among other things. I mean, I'm sure it had a role in other Tales games, but that's the one I really remember it from. It was the fourth phonic hymn, I think, was revitalized. Yeah, because the first phonic hymn was Nightmare. Second phonic hymn... No, second phonic hymn. The second phonic hymn was revitalized. No. No, it was the fourth one. It was definitely the fourth one. Well, we'll just have to play Tales of the Abyss again then, won't we? Because I can't remember. Crossblade, that sounds good. Increased boost strike damage sounds even better. Strength and magic charge. Let's do that one. Let's do that one. Let's do that one. I guess we can just grab this while we're here. Increased down damage sounds good. Increased BG at battle start. I like the sound of that too. Strength and counter edge is fine. What do you have, Kisara? Havoc thrust. Do you have things like Tempest Wyvern, faster AG recovery, increased BG at battle start? I like to see that. Let's go ahead and get Tempest Wyvern. There we go. Cool. We got Sodale Arthalis and Gam Arthalis and Las Fiarquis, which are words that exist in tongues. There we go. And they already have them. That is a big, funny looking gun. Okay, cool. I think we're good as far as equipment and stuff. Let's hit up this skit.
Sounds like this Naori chick had quite the big heart.
Her position demanded nothing less. From the sound of things, she didn't focus on differences, least of all those between Renans and Danans.
Yeah. It was Naori who first showed me that such a thing was even possible. And then she saved my life by sending me back home to Dana.
Not only that, but she willingly stayed behind on Lenegis for the sake of her people. It sounds like she was quite the hero, all right. A truly caring person.
It's as if walls meant nothing to her. The ones separating the Renans from the Danans, or herself from others. She had no need for them.
Which basically meant that she never had anything to break down in the first place, huh? Yeah. I think you may be right about that.
You inherited that legacy. Her wish for the world.
Don't I know it?
She's kind of like a lodestar guiding our way, showing us what we can aspire to.
Everybody's great. Everybody loves everybody. Alright, cool. Which way did we come from? We came from this way. We need to go this way. Yeah, it was definitely the fourth phonic hymn. Alright, another warp. Another warp. So is the Renaissance here? I mean, I guess it must be, right? It must be here. Got another star up ahead. Alright. It's a big scary door.
That's quite some door, all right. This might finally be it. The heart of the beast.
We'll find the Renis Alma and the Red Woman inside, right?
I don't know.
After everything we've been through to get here, they damn well better be.
We'll probably be needing you to open this one for us, Sovereign.
Go for it, Alphen.
This is it, guys. Time to see what secrets are in store.
You ready? You ready? Ready for more truth bombs? This is the stream of truth bombs. Gonna bomb some truth. We got another heal point, which means we've got another save point, which means, well, let's hit this first.
We're a long way from the residential quarters now. It
looks like the
completely
wedge
different.
is what it looks like.
Yeah, you're right. Actually, this place, it reminds me more of being back inside the wedge.
Except the Danon astral energy feels even stronger.
This must
here.
be where it's all getting
In
collected.
a portion of the city reserved purely for the Renin Sovereign.
Maybe he just has strange tastes?
No.
This place looks like it has been here for quite some time now. If its design were a matter of personal preference, we would be talking from centuries ago. Or perhaps even further back. Still, this isn't the sort of decadence of taste spoken of in artistic circles. So what is it then?
Hold up, decadence? Artistic circles?
When a preference is indulged to its extreme, it descends into kitsch, eccentricity for the sake of it. I'd be happy to illuminate
Not
you
the time,
further.
dude.
That depends. Does it involve you buying me lunch?
The void that art fills isn't the stomach, it's the soul.
In that case, I'll let you know the next time my soul starts to
Oh my
rumble.
god. This is
Now
the
all we need
perfect
something to
time for
fill up
this
the void inside
conversation,
your
guys.
head.
Shut up!
Alright. So, yeah, the implication, I think, if I'm understanding it correctly, is that this is where all of the astral energy that's harvested from Dana is stored, which is why there's a big, source of Dana astral energy here. And then the spirit channeling ceremony is what converts that energy into something usable back on Rena. That seems to be the gist of what we learned. Let's go ahead and heal up. I have a feeling we're going to be fighting something big and scary. What do we got? What do we got up here? Is it the Renaissance?
Volron!
Ah.
He really was still alive.
Did you think Volron
And
was
there's the
dead?
Renaissance.
Come on.
Then, is this another spirit channeling ceremony?
Well, we just brought a maiden right to it, didn't we?
Something doesn't seem right here.
Once more, the power
And he's a sovereign. And that's the Renaissance.
chaos, the world does seek its rightful state. All must be sacrificed in the heart of Rena, at the shrine of the true sovereign.
But what has happened to him? He's lost himself, reduced to a mere cog in a machine.
Hey, look! Over there!
Isn't that the Maiden's crest?
Can it be that this entire chamber is meant to act as a substitute for the maiden?
Sure.
It looks like it's still running, but are we already too late to stop the ceremony?
If that's what caused Lenegis' transformation, then the purpose of the ceremony must have been to drain all the astral energy out of Dana.
Yeah. We learned that in the terminal.
Purpose. What could possibly need astral energy on that sort of scale?
I'll give you 3 guesses and the first 2 don't
Whatever
count.
it is, I'll bet it's connected to those visions of oblivion.
Like, we did
Regardless,
read the terminal, right? It's for
I
Rena.
cannot stand by and let them steal Dana's energy.
It said that in the terminal.
That said, we should retrieve the Renaissance.
It's converting,
Because right
the
now,
spirit channeling ceremony is
exactly
converting astral energy from Dana and sending it to Rena. That's what it said.
He's not gonna lunge at us out of nowhere, right?
Not the time, Law.
Oh, well, there
The
she
Red
is.
Woman. So we finally found you. I have a lot of questions for you.
Wait!
What?
Oh, there's more than
All
one.
have the same face? How is that even possible?
Oh, boy. Welp.
What is this?
Who the hell are they?
So,
Are they even people?
did you have aliens on your bingo card?
Hard to know for sure, but I think
Because I think I did at this point. I think by this time I was starting to lean towards aliens.
If it's in the sky,
3 red womans.
it's no use, Elton.
Not really in the sky, but we'll have Xion fight them anyway. Oh my god, they have a ton of HP. That is so much HP. That is 300,000. That is a big number. Banjin Law. I'm assuming they're dark, right? Yeah, of course they're dark. I'm about to die. We're gonna come through. Do some big damage before I die. Magic Kazam. It's like Magalu is right here with me. I miss Magalu. Yikes, yikes, yikes. Dohalim's dead. That's great. Rinwell's almost dead. That's even better. Rinwell is dead. That's really super great. I love this. We're getting our asses beat. Yeah, we gotta not let that hit us, because that does a lot of damage. Ow. Get out of the way, get out of the way, get out of the way. Get out of the way. Stop that in its tracks. Very good. Oh my god, I'm dying. I'm dying. I'm getting my ass handed to me. Getting my ass handed to me. Alright, there's a lot of dark magic. What I need to do, actually, what I should be doing, is changing Garnet to, what was it, Alexandrite? Alright, so we got fire damage up. Yeah, I'll take that. You need an Alexandrite. Fire damage up. You don't have fire damage, so, actually you do. You do have a lot of fire, so that's good. We should actually do that, yeah. And then Dohalim should be, defense plus 20 or max HP. Let's go with max HP on you. Oops. And then Rinwell, you can go ahead and scoop. What did I? Alright. You can go ahead and scoop up this last one that is defense up. So that's good. So now we got dark magic. Does a lot, does half damage. That should really help. Take less damage from dark. These guys are all about using dark. Blah 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 magic. It's like Rita's right here with me. I also miss Rita. Although I'm pretty sure it was blah 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 tidal wave. If I remember correctly from my Vesperias. Alright, we're doing okay now. Use peach gel, that's fine. Peach gels are fine. We've got those. We got peach gels to spare us. That's no problem. Yeah, I'm taking a lot of damage. Well, I need you to punch things. Thank you. We're getting... Okay. Okay. That was all crits. That's great. I love the crits. Crits are wonderful. I do not want to take damage from that. Alright, I really need people to stop using dark magic. And by people, I mean Dohalim. To stop using dark magic on these guys. Because they resist it, and it's not great. Alright, Rinwell. Do big things. I died. Kill me, please. Hey, Rinwell, you want a Mystic Art, please? No, because she died. So we don't even get Mystic Arts. Alright, I am actually going to... Oh, no, I didn't mean to do that. I am actually going to pop a orange gel for sure. There we go, there we go. Xion is... She's healed up. That's good. Now I just need me to get healed up. We want to not get hit by that. Definitely want to not get hit by that. That is real bad. I died because nobody healed me. Come on, guys. Need you on top of this. Thank you. If you could make it snappy. Alright, you're not going to bring me back from Death's Abyss. So let's go ahead and just use that. Now I am back from Death's Abyss. We didn't have to waste all of that CP to do it. Alright, yeah, come get me, bitch. Alright, man. We're running low on CP again. I guess I'll top it off. There we go. Keep healing. Keep on healing. People gotta stop taking so much damage. Jesus, how my HP so low? Yikes. Xion. Damn. I forgot about that scream. I forgot about that scream. That's a good scream. Ray Chase out here shredding his vocal cords. Here we go. Break you. Get you nice and broken. Broken, dead, broken. I'm gonna get away from that, 'cause that's gonna do big damage. Out of the way, out of the way, out of the way. Okay, I am in overlimit once more. There we go. Out of the way, out of the way. Do not want to get hit with that. Alright, they are in the red. I believe they all have a shared HP bar, so it's not like I can get rid of, like, whittle down their numbers. I don't think it's gonna work that way. Keep the chain going. Dohalim, get the fuck up. Out of the way. Out of the way of that. There we go. Get a nice counterattack. Get a nice boost break. Get a nice boost attack. Doing critical damage. It's beautiful. Get another boost attack. Oh, we're comboing this thing to death. It's going to be beautiful. Still got 45,000 HP. That's what qualifies as being in the red. I'm going to pop another one of these orange gels. Because I would just want to make sure we have enough healing to get through the rest of this. Kisara, go ahead and do some damage. Nice critical damage. I love it. So much good critical damage. I am taking way too much damage. I could use a heal, Xion. That's perfect. Thank you. And that whiffed because they teleported, which is not great, but we can go ahead and do some shenanigans. Alright, they're doing real big, crazy attacks. Dohalim, I need you to not be dead, please. I'll wake you up if I have to, it's fine. Ow. Alright, I need somebody to revive me. Xion, thank you. Appreciated. Even though you kind of died in the process. It's not ideal. I will remember your sacrifice and honor it. And Rinwell's about to die too, and I'm about to die. Actually, this is really bad. We need to life bottle Xion. Hut. We're gonna get through this. We're gonna get through it. It's gonna be great. We're almost there. Just have to survive a tiny little baby bit longer. You know, you can use peach gels. I have approved the use of peach gels for medicinal purposes in this fight. Oh, that would be great if I could get this attack off without dying. God damn it. Law. That's great. Oh my god, there's so much damage happening all around me. It's not lovely. There we go. We have done the thing.
Surrender! Fighting is useless now!
I feel like they're not gonna surrender.
Do you think it's really
No.
over?
No, I strongly disagree.
Astral energy. Watch out! They've got something up their sleeve!
Oh boy.
What?
It's self-destructed?
Alvin!
I'm okay. Just a little roughed up.
You had me worried there.
Well, there's the Renazalma. We gonna just...
Who said you could touch that?
Oh god, alright.
Damn it! He's awake!
Why don't we just stab him again?
I should have thought as much. So you know this place? Naturally, it was built for me, after all. We'll save that for another time. More pressing is how I'm going to tear you apart.
How are you gonna tear me apart? Because you're like chained
After
up.
all this time, you still insist on hating me? You cut me down. Sovereign or not, you will pay for that.
You're obviously bluffing.
That gun is so comically
You
big.
can't even move right now.
Really, is that what you think? Did you really think that such a petty device could hold me?
Are you going to claim it's because you're a ruler? Be it sovereigns or lords. In the end, they're all titles given by someone else.
Plus, what kind of ruler would spend all his time chasing Alf, who happens to be another sovereign?
Idle prattle. I proved my worth and the Sovereign's powers were granted to me.
Were they really? We already know the title of Sovereign doesn't denote royalty. It is but an overblown codename for those with a designated part to play in these proceedings. You mentioned before that you were not the only one stolen from Dana.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. There were countless. And every one of them besides me died.
All of those failed experiments, and they still kept going back to Dana. There must have been some vital reason their subject had to specifically be a Danan. Then there were the records we found in the library.
Pretty sure it's
You
the
and
light
Volok.
astral energy, isn't it? Because they need all 6.
300 years apart, and yet the data they took from you was exactly the same. Which leads us to a single conclusion.
Then you mean Boron was kidnapped just like Alvin?
Yeah.
But then he became a...
A slave from Dana. Just like us. Isn't that right? Volron?
Yep. Sure is.
So he posed as a Renin and caused all that suffering to his own people?
How could you? If you knew the pain of being a slave, why would you inflict that upon others?
Renin and Danan are meaningless distinctions. Me and everyone else. That is all that matters. I will stand above all others and take what is rightfully mine, starting with this.
Apparently you fucking won't.
A red woman?
Another one?
Give your master back on Rena this message. No one makes a fool of me. Let them know I'll make them suffer.
Don't do it!
Well, shit. We kind of needed that. Well, Seems like Edgy Claude has done something not great. I'm just gonna leave him. Bye, Edgy Claude. Believe in the power of friendship, Shion. In heels as well. You better not drop her, you dick. Bye, Volron.
Go. But know I will be your shadow no matter where you try to run.
Let's go.
Never forget, I am the one who devours everything. Who answers to neither spirit nor man. My word is law. I am.
Are you two okay?
Yeah. We'll be fine.
I have opinions, but I'll hold on to
Is
them until
Volron-
later.
Have we finally seen the last of him?
We can but hope.
Those red women. What the heck was their deal?
It's a good question.
Could they be the ones behind all this? The same ones who put those soldiers in Faria in a trance?
I think that's probably the case.
What? Those brainless things? Either way, they've done a runner with the Renaissance. Damn it, that's the second time now!
Whatever's stolen from us, we'll steal it back. The future's ours to protect. And right now, those things are what's standing in our way. We can head them off at Rena.
Oh, we're going to Rena now, huh?
Volron mentioned a master of theirs holed up in the motherland somewhere.
If that monstrous form's their true identity, I shudder to think who they take orders from.
Yeah. There's a good chance it's not him.
I think that's a pretty safe bet.
For sure.
So this
Well, wait till
thing
you
over
find
on
out what it
Rena,
really is.
That's what's really behind all this, huh?
Yeah.
They have the Renaissance in their grasp already, so it's unlikely they'll have cause to return to Dana. I agree that Rena's our best shot.
Then we're agreed. Let's head back to the starship.
Alright, we're going to Rena Homeworld.
But seriously, I was not expecting Volron to actually be here.
He seemed to care not one whit about Brennan's or Danan's.
Yeah, not in a good way like with us.
I didn't see that coming about Volron. As for those red women, to think they were monsters all along.
Tell me about it. One minute they look perfectly human. Next thing you know, they're not actually human at all.
Aliens.
They definitely weren't Renan or Danon. I'm not even sure language would get through to them.
Literally
So what
aliens.
were they then? Human Zoogle hybrids?
Is the most terrifying thing anyone said all day.
How about you, Shion? Dohalim? You ever seen anything like that before?
No, never. However, if they're the same as the Red Woman we've seen with Volron, I think it's safe for us to assume they understand our language at the very least.
I had just so much I wanted to ask them. About Rena. And Shion's thorns.
Unfortunately, they blew themselves up before we got the chance. Why would they do such a thing, though? To take us with them? Or in order to keep something hidden?
Both sound plausible to my ears. They took off with the Renaissance too, remember?
Yeah, they did. And the next time we meet them, we're going to make sure they tell us everything they know.
Well, alright. In we go. Are you really going to make us walk out of here? The whole way? Kind of get the feeling that they're gonna. Can we warp? No, we cannot fast travel. So there is something ahead waiting for us. I hope it's a shopkeeper, because I'd like to buy some life bottles. Pretty please. But yeah, so we've learned quite a bit today, haven't we? We've learned quite a bit. And there's still more. There's still more big reveals to be had, and I think they're gonna happen fairly soon. This is the stream of truth bombs, I'm telling you. I have a feeling we're gonna learn all of the main... get all of the main reveals in this stream. Oh, we have a healing spot. I will take it, I will save, and then I will take this healing spot. Which is quite good. Quite good. Happy to have this. So I'm sure we're gonna have to fight our way back out from just enemies. But I think once we get the chance to go back to our main world, assuming we do get that chance, there's side quests I would like to clean up. Alright, so we really can just push through. So we are gonna have to fight our way back out. Which is okay. We can kind of use the EXP. Certainly wouldn't hurt to have more EXP. Double Demon Fang. Ow. Coming through once again. Scarlet Inferno. I would like to change my target to you and get tied up with Dohalim. There we go. Perfect. Love it. More boost breaking. Yep.
Commander of Heaven.
Sweet. We still have our EXP up. Food. Which is pretty cool. I'm not gonna go back into the rooms that aren't main rooms, though. Where are we going now? We want to go this way. And yes, indeed, we're fighting another one of these guys. Because why the fuck not? Wow, I should have held that. This thing charges. Dodge again, dodge again. He's gonna come back with another swipe. Really good, actually. Man. Alright. Stay away from that. Get ourselves a nice boost break. Out of the way, out of the way, out of the way. Doing big swipes. Those big swipes hurt. Dohalim. Getting a nice over limit. Love to see it. And we're gonna hold Kisara's boost attack until this thing decides he wants to start charging. Beautiful. Beautiful, Dohalim. Beautiful. Yeah, you want to charge? You want to do a charge? Is that what you want to do? Is that what you think you want to do? It is what you think you want to do. But you're going to get broken. Nice little boost break. Yikes, that hurt. That's called getting cocky. That is what that move is called. Right, he is at the halfway point, which is great. Because it would be nice to actually kill this thing. Yikes. Yikes. Coming through. Big damage. Big damage. Yikes, 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 yikes. Oh boy. It'd be cool if we didn't have to fight our way back out of this thing. And have to fight these things over again. I mean, I guess I could try to avoid it, but I don't know, man. It just seems like more trouble than it's worth. Although, it's a lot of trouble to fight these things. It is a lot of effort. They are so bulky. A nice boost break. It didn't boost break him? It did boost break him. Good. Alright, we've almost got him. He's just about to die. There we go. Get dead. Get dead, Force Mantis.
I felt better, that's for sure.
That really didn't give me any experience. That was so little experience. That's kind of the worst. That's kind of the worst thing. The good thing is these enemies aren't that bad. They should be pretty easy to cut through. Nice and quick like. That boost break. A nice boost attack from Dohalim in the middle of a whole bunch of them. There we go. What would you miss? Oh boy. We had quite a lot of reveals come up. But that's fine. Making our way back out. Basically, the gist of it is that spirit channeling ceremony is astral energy conversion from Dana to Rena, which we kind of figured that, but it's been confirmed.
The lights are all out.
And also Voron's still alive, and also the Red Woman is multiple Red Women, and they are non-human, and they took the Renaissance.
You too. Faria, Avakir. Thank goodness you're safe.
Avakir filled me in about everything. About how I ambushed you all. She doesn't remember a thing. So she really was being controlled.
She sure was.
He told me about Tarnigan, too. Is it true?
What difference does it make? What's done is done.
Stop casting me off, just for once.
Faria, not now. It can wait. Dohalim, Lenegus is in grave peril.
Yeah.
So I can
Yeah,
see.
there's a lot. This
The
is
city's core
basically
reactor. It's
truth bomb
damaged.
the stream.
Some of the basic systems we've managed to keep online, but complete restoration.
Just had
still away.
Voron more. Yeah, of course. I mean, of course.
You're an
he
elite
wasn't
technician,
dead.
though. You can
Of
fix
course,
it, right?
he wasn't dead.
If so, then what's the problem?
Panic's begun to set in among the citizens. Until now, whenever something like this happened, the Sovereign would issue a decree.
Yeah, we've kind of
This time, not so
come to
much
the
as a peep.
conclusion that there's
Any
no
longer,
Sovereign.
and we run the risk of riots breaking out before we can get things back up and running.
At least not in the sense that they think.
Forget the Sovereign. I doubt you'll be hearing from him anytime soon.
Yeah, he's kind of not there.
What's that supposed to mean? Do you know something I don't?
Suffice it to say, the Sovereign isn't the kind of ruler we thought he was. That is, if he ever even existed, which is looking doubtful at this stage.
Are you out of your mind? that a lord such as yourself was whispering such blasphemy, they'd...
There's no time to explain now. It sounds like we need to find a way to keep Lenegis from spiraling out of control.
Yeah, let's do that.
Stop that riot.
But how do we do that?
Fighting people?
Riots feed on discontent and unrest, right? So if we want to keep the peace, we just need to put people's minds at ease.
Oh, we have Dohalim for that, right?
Like by letting them hear directly.
Dohalim can soothe everybody with his dulcet tones.
That's it. Who's the highest ranking person in Lenegis right now?
Lenegis wouldn't have a next in line. After all, you said the Sovereign rules over everyone directly.
Pretty much.
Right? Correct. The closest thing to an authority figure would be a lord.
Ha
The only one left is...
Guess who?
Ah. Very well then. Avakir, you mentioned a few facilities were still online. Which ones?
Why hasn't the Sovereign said anything?
Please, won't somebody explain what's going on?
Is it over? What's going to happen to all of us?
Heed me now, fellow Renans of Lenegis. It is I, Lord Dohalim Ilkaris of Eldamen and Sia.
Look, up there! It's Lord Dohalim!
Hold on! He should be in the crown contest! Shouldn't he? Why isn't the Sovereign talking to us?
The Sovereign is seeing to other matters right now. In my capacity as Lord, I speak to you in his stead. You're afraid. As people so often are when faced with the unknown. I hope you'll allow me to put your fears to rest. The city's core reactor has experienced a malfunction. However, we have our top engineers attending to the matter, and things will soon be back to normal. I know that you feel abandoned, perhaps more scared and alone than ever before. But I ask you all to keep one thing in mind. You are Lenegis, not the lords and sovereign. The solidarity of its citizens is the mortar that holds it together.
Ooh.
If we don't allow ourselves to be distracted by our differences, if we put our hearts and minds together and stand as one, I am confident we will find new hope. I would be honored to stand with you. Not as a person of loftier rank, but as another human being among many. I hope that you'll lend me your strength, for if we can persevere as one, I know a bright tomorrow awaits.
Well, there we go. And suddenly the riots were quelled.
Your speech seems to have done the trick. Looks like the city won't be descending into chaos after all.
Well, that was easy.
I only pray the relief will tide the city over for the time being.
Only
What you
injecting his
said
political
earlier
beliefs in there.
about
Nice.
the Sovereign possibly not even existing. Was it true?
It's still too premature to say with any certainty, but I believe so. This whole time, this world we've been fed was a lie. Built on nothing but falsehoods.
Sure looks that way.
But it can't all have been...
No, it was all of it. Pretty much all of it.
After everything I saw in the Forbidden Zone, what they did to Faria, it's the only explanation that makes sense.
But what about hierarchy, Avakir? Authority? The very foundations of Renan society? How can we live without someone to guide us?
I'd say we found someone capable of doing just that.
Oh.
Wouldn't you?
Oh boy, we gonna make Dohalim, like, leader of all Renans?
You? You can't be serious.
I have business I must take care of first. But once everything is over, I shall return. But not as your sovereign, nor as a leader the likes of which the people here are used to, I think.
But how else do you propose to rule?
I'm not sure yet. All I have is a feeling that here in Lenegis, a new dawn is on the verge of breaking. One in which people won't be judged by birthright, or on the power of their astral arts, but on other things. More important things. Things like, oh, I don't know, musical talent, for example.
Yeah, musicians rule.
When I bumped into you after all those
And people
years,
who aren't
I
musicians
said you were no different.
are on the bottom.
But I was wrong.
Truth is, you were always different.
I don't think that's what he means.
I feel like maybe now I can finally begin to accept turn against death. To see a future.
You go finish whatever it is you've got to do. I'll hold down the fort here in Lenegus till you get back.
Thank you.
I guess you're not going to make it to Menancia for the foreseeable future, huh?
Well...
Indeed.
I don't know. Are there side quests in Menancia?
The people of Elda Menancia can look after themselves just fine. It's the ones here on Lenegus who need someone to guide
Music,
them.
but I guess this is better than races.
Besides, with you leading the people here, it'll help spread the idea of coexistence beyond Menancia's borders that much faster.
Sounds like you're in it for the long haul.
How could I not be, after the second chance that I've been granted? From this day forth, I shall dedicate myself to the future inhabitants of this world. Though the memories of the departed shall remain forever in my heart.
Remember, you're going to be leading the people here, not ruling them.
Mm-hmm.
True enough. Whatever would I do without you, Kisara?
Ooh.
With or without her, I suspect you're gonna have your hands full when the time comes.
Alright, so we're planning to go to
We should be
Rena
heading back
now.
to the ship. Business on Rena awaits.
But, like, Rena's a whole-ass planet. So, like... I don't know. Seems like a big ask. Oh, we can learn
Looks like
Ground
the people
Dasher.
of Lenegus can rest easy.
I couldn't have done it without your words of encouragement, Law.
Hey, you're the one who made the speech.
I think everybody can share the credit here.
Alright, well, we have another skit. And then we can
One
go hit up that
sense,
shopkeeper.
When all is said and done, perhaps I have been a slave this whole time, too.
I don't know. I'm pretty sure the
You
slaves
already
have been the
lord.
slaves.
How do you figure that exactly?
I was complicit in the Renan system, bound by its values, resigned to being swept along, without the resolve to take a stand. And when I realized the severity of my mistake, all I longed for was punishment. A lord. And yet my first instinct was to place my fate in the hands of others.
I think I can relate. I couldn't stand watching my people bow and scrape their
Another
way
skit,
through
just
life.
one you should.
I didn't know what else I could do about it. either.
I am not sure.
The ability to
I
think
have
for
a feeling
yourself
there
and
might be
your
even
own
more.
master. That's what separates a slave from a free person. At least, that's what Law's dad Zephyr used to say. Zephyr taught me how to fight.
Hey, it's
But in
Zephyr.
doing
We
so,
haven't
he
seen
also
Zephyr in
taught me
so
how to
long.
live.
Even if it means stumbling along the way. If it's on a road of our own choosing, free of regret. Why, that's the road of freedom. Or, to put it another way, so long as his heart is compromised, even the loftiest of kings is no freer than a slave. I think I finally understand now.
I mean,
This Zephyr
in a
character sounds
rhetorical
like he was a
sense,
wise
maybe.
man indeed.
But I don't
I
think
only
a
wish I
king
could have
is,
met him.
like,
There's
having
just
to work himself to
so
death.
much I wish I could ask him, especially now. I wonder, have I been correctly carrying on the torch that he passed to me?
Well, there we go.
How long have you
Number
known
2.
Known what?
about the darkness I carry inside me? You seem to have been aware of it for quite some time now.
Why ask me now? What does it matter? But yes, I have. I've pretty much known that something was gnawing at you ever since we left Menancia.
So basically since the very start of our journey then. Just when I thought I couldn't feel more ashamed.
Leave the past where it belongs. We have no need for it now. You're forging ahead. That's what matters. If my brother could see you, he'd be proud.
Not as proud as he would be of his sister, I'm sure.
Well then, just as well it's not a competition, huh?
And 3. You know, I wanted to
Kisara?
make a little bit more
Anyone
progress,
at home in there?
but this is fine.
Sorry. Did I look distracted?
Among other things. To be entirely honest, I couldn't tell whether you were smiling or frowning.
You were thinking about Dohalim, weren't you?
That obvious, huh?
No.
I was just thinking how good it is to see him moving forward at last. It was always so infuriating, knowing how capable he could be if he just put his mind to it. A prisoner trapped in a cage of his own self-doubt. But now, he's finally beginning to spread his wings.
Can't really do any of this without spaceships.
I'm happy for him.
So, then why do you look so sad?
Oh, I don't know if I'd say sad. There's a bittersweetness to it, I guess. It's good and strange, knowing that he won't be needing me anymore. It probably sounds weird, doesn't it?
It didn't sound like he didn't need you anymore.
My mind. I should be jumping up and down for joy.
I'm pretty sure he
right?
said, "What would I do without you?"
Must be that maternal instinct of yours at work.
Rinwell's right. You're like a mother bird, finally letting go as her child takes his first shaking and nervous flight from the nest.
I think you guys are making it weird.
That's one way to look at it.
I don't think Kisara wants to think of Dohalim as a child.
All this has made me realize I can't allow myself to become a prisoner of my own
I don't
making
know.
like he was. If Dohalim can forge his own path ahead, then I can too. I won't be left behind.
Alright, now we can hit up the shopkeeper.
What do you say we check back in on the ranch?
Sure, we can check back in on the ranch. That's fine. That's great. We'll check back in on the ranch. I'm kind of more interested in replacing all of the items I had to spend on the additional boss fight. And a horse. There we go. Alright. Let's sell some stuff. We can sell platinum dog tags, which are worth a decent amount. We can buy... We need... what do we need? We're actually doing okay with orange shells. I say we only really need... Let's get 2. Life bottles we definitely need, because I had to use quite a few of those. 7's good. And then... Peach gels, we'll get a few of those. 3. Lemon gels, I think we're fine with. I think we're fine otherwise. 5. Let's get 3 more treats. That's fine. Do we have better armor? Those numbers just aren't really that interesting. Alright. Cool. I think we're good. Can we forge any good, super amazing weapons? That's less good. That one might be worth the price. That's a pretty expensive price. This is a hell of an upgrade. Let's go ahead and grab that. Absolutely. That is a extremely amazing upgrade. Let's go ahead and grab that. She's already got her best weapon for now. Farmer Lost trying to prepare for his next job. I think he's got his next job. I think he's gonna be a farmer. Seems like he's pretty well cut out for it. Do I want to spend that much money for 40s? I guess I do. Even though big gun is funnier. It's fine. Alright.
Did we really just spend that much
Kisara,
money?
I'm gonna need you to not do that, because, like, we're really gonna be spending more. It's only gonna get worse. Okay. So we're off to Rena, apparently. That's the plan, anyway. Again, I reiterate, Rena's an entire planet. And we're just gonna have to make sure we land in the right spot. But, okay, trust the process. We could have rested. Probably should have rested. Maybe. I don't know. Hope that doesn't bite me in the ass. 'Cause I'm not going back. Not going back. Come too far. I think this way, and then to the right. New menu background. Oh yeah, we got some costumes because we got a little bit more background on the spirit channeling ceremony, and now We have the outfits of the Maiden and the Sovereign. And I guess that changed our menu background. It was pretty cool. Alright, let's blow this joint. Get out of here and fly to Rena to get the Renis Alma back from a single red woman on an entire planet. And let's hope she's not hard to find. I have a feeling things aren't going to be that smooth.
I thought we'd find answers on Lenegis, but we just ended up finding more
Yeah, it's usually how that goes.
You can say that again. And now we have more problems to fix too. Like figuring out how to reform Lenegis.
That can wait for now. We've got more than enough on our plates to deal with as it is. Like figuring out who's really running the show on Rena.
Yeah. Which is why we're going to the Renan homeworld.
All the answers we've been looking for are on that planet. The person responsible for all this. The Red Woman and the Renis Alma. The answers have to be there. Are we prepared to finally find them?
I think we're prepared. We're 16 streams into this game. I think it's time to start getting some answers.
So, what do we do first when we get there?
We know nothing about the Renan homeworld or what we might face once we arrive. We should get a feel for how things are on the ground before we take any serious steps.
It's also entirely possible that the first thing we're going to face is an attack.
I think that's probably
if we
likely.
come across the capital, we should...
What the? What? Oh, shit. Oh, that seems bad. I think they're onto us. Yeah. I have a feeling this might end badly for us. Well, shit. We just get hyperspaced.
Damn! The hell just happened?
Our course has been altered. The coordinates are pointing to a different destination.
What's that?
It's a lot of red. I don't like all that red.
The ship's controls aren't accepting my commands. The engine is being shut down.
Uh-oh.
That's bad, right?
Yeah, I think that's pretty bad.
Quite bad. We've lost control of the ship.
Is all of this the Red Women's doing?
Are they trying to finish us off before we can
I think
land?
that's pretty reasonable.
Everyone, look there.
Oh, is this where we get it? Is this where we get it? I think this is where we get it. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's Rena. Ready? Ready for the answer? Yeah. I mean, I think at this point it's pretty easy to predict. I don't really fancy myself a genius for having had the thought, oh, maybe there is no Rena. Or maybe Rena's like not really a planet that has Renans living on it. But there you go. It has some big Tales of Graces vibes. Also, Tales of Exilia vibes, in a manner of speaking. It's very interesting. This game actually has a lot of similarities to a lot of previous Tales games in different ways. I don't know if that's on purpose or not. That looks very interesting.
A flower blooming out of Retta?
Mm-hmm.
But that flower looks like it's absorbing all of Dana's energy.
Are we going to talk about the fact that Rena's like a rotted out husk?
And it appears Lenegis is serving as a conduit for that energy to reach here. Could that have been its true purpose all along?
If that's true, do you think the people back on Lenegis are all right?
We can only pray that they are.
Damn it! Haven't they taken enough already? When is this going to end?
The Flower of Oblivion.
Hmm?
With everything that's happening, we need to get back to Lenegis. Is the ship still offline?
Unfortunately, yes. Even more so than when it lay dormant.
Great.
Can you fix it?
Starships are extremely complex machines. One wrong move while we're out here in space could very well cost us our lives.
So what? We're just stuck inside here, floating around? For how long?
How much oxygen's in here?
I don't believe this. We've made it all this way, and now we're stuck here? We're watching Dana die before our eyes, and we have no choice but to sit here and starve to death?
Law, calm
I
down.
think you're going to suffocate before you starve to death.
You're not the only one who's worried here.
Right. Sorry.
It's still too early to give up. There has to be a way to get out of this.
Alphen.
Oh.
Now what?
The starship, it's back online?
No, this is different. Something is pulling our ship in towards it.
I don't know if that's good or not, but I guess it's better than just floating around in a tin can. And what is that?
We managed to get moving, but where are we?
It looks like Lenegis in here.
Do you think we might run into more Renans here? Or those red women?
Perhaps. Someone brought us here. The question is, who?
So this is a totally
We
different
haven't been
space station.
ambushed, so that probably means they aren't hostile. Still, why would anyone want to bring us here?
Hey, Shion!
Where are you going?
If they wanted to attack us, they could have done so while we were back on the starship. We should see where this path takes us.
I mean, there's not much else we can do, so yeah. Let's do that. All right.
Shion, just in the nick of time. Here, lend me a hand while I...
No!
You really gonna...
What the...
Yeah,
oh,
duh.
Right, the thorns. My bad.
No, I'm the one who should apologize. I overreacted.
Again, Law? Can't you even go a minute without putting your foot in your mouth?
Seriously, it's fine. I'd rather that than people feeling like they're walking on eggshells around me. Besides, I'm the one who should be vigilant about not touching you guys, not the other way around.
Actually, I've been meaning to ask. Not being able to touch people, does it ever get lonely sometimes?
I guess I never really thought about it in those terms. It was either accept it for what it was or come undone. Before long, it was just part of my everyday reality. I think I even forgot there was another way to live. Which isn't to say I didn't feel alone. I did. Always.
So numb to your reality, you couldn't even recognize it as loneliness? I don't know how you managed.
It's fine. I know I'm not alone anymore.
But I can't even touch you. No way of lending you a shoulder when you're down? Even Alphen.
I appreciate the concern. Until I get rid of these thorns, I guess I'll have to put up with it just a little longer. But not forever. Alphen promised me that.
Yeah?
Maybe it'll be soon, maybe it won't be. But either way, the day will come.
And we never break our promises.
I'll be ready when it does.
Yeah, just hang in there. One day, we'll share a big warm hug. You'll see. I promise.
Aww. More skits.
Boo! What the? Are you out of your mind? This isn't the time for games, Rinwell.
Oh, come on. How am I supposed to resist with you looking all jittery like that?
It's called experiencing feelings appropriate to the situation.
Is that what it's called?
You ought to try it sometime.
Yeah, but seeing you act all nervous, you're making me start to feel nervous too.
Well, whose fault is that?
Oh, sorry.
Staying alert is important, but too much caution can cloud your judgment. Try to strike a balance.
Okay, that was a very important skit. All right. So we have an elevator.
I still can't get over what we saw happening outside the starship.
Yeah, our planet's really not doing too hot right about now.
I've only ever seen Rena from the surface of Dana, so I figured it was just another round planet like ours.
Yeah, I think that was the point.
Still though, I never would have imagined Rena actually looked like that. And what's the deal with that giant flower coming out of it?
Beats me. I have absolutely no clue. It's so surreal. It looks like a broken egg or something.
Rena and Dana. We were taught that both worlds were spherical bodies that floated amongst the stars in the heavens. But to think that they lied to us not only about the Sovereign and the Crown contest, but also the form of our own planet.
Dohalim.
Okay, who's the white?
More skits.
That beam of light joining Dana and Rena. It was the Renin side that it first came from, right?
Yeah, it was.
That's what it looked like. And then the Danon side responded.
Perhaps it was some kind of directive from the Renin homeworld? To reawaken the Wedge and Lenegis?
Seems reasonable.
Which would mean that whoever's behind all this is on Rena after all. But what are they after? Is it really worth going through all this trouble just to steal Dana's energy?
I mean, yeah, I think so.
Try to stay calm. With so many factors we don't understand, dwelling on it won't get us anywhere. What is it?
No, it's just... Zephyr once told me the same thing. So much for me making progress, huh?
You made it this far, didn't you? You notice something, you change it. That's all anyone can do. But you can't stand still in the meantime.
Alright. So we have a big elevator here. And just a round room. So, we have... central level, lower level, and upper level. I think we're currently on... the... oh, question mark, question mark, question mark. Okay. So, central level... that's the star. Upper level. Lower level. Not accessible. Not accessible. Alright, so this is where we need to be. Anything around here? Probably not. Doesn't hurt to check. Might be some pork sitting in a box. But there isn't. So we're gonna go ahead and go this way to another star. And I think we're gonna get truth bombed again.
This place looks a lot like that room we saw back in the Forbidden Zone.
Yeah, a little bit.
Huh? What's that?
It's another one of those things. That's what the red woman looks like.
It's one of those!
Yeah.
A red woman in disguise. Or is this their true form?
So it was a trap?
It doesn't look like it can move. Tell me, are you the one who brought us here?
That is correct. It is unusual for me to have unexpected guests these days.
It can talk.
What are you?
Hevrect 35.
Hevrect 35, huh?
Hevrect 35. Is that your name?
Correct.
What is this place? No, wait, before that, just what exactly are you? Are you somehow associated with the Red Women?
Before I answer, I have a question for you. How did you all arrive in this sector?
We were brought here.
We did not come to this place by choice. Our ship was brought here against our will, by a group of red women who can shift into the same form as you.
In that case, we can assume my brethren who serve the Great Spirit have deemed you all to be a threat most grave.
What do you mean, serve? Are you saying there really is someone more powerful than the Red Women, pulling their strings?
Oh?
What did you do to us?
I examined your bodies. You have not been harmed in any way. Identifiers detected. The Sovereign and Maiden are among you. However, you aren't under its control. I see why they viewed you as a danger now.
Oh, goody. More riddles.
Do you think we can trust this thing?
Like it or not, it may be our best chance at a ticket out of here. Let's at least hear it out.
I shall now answer your questions. We are Helganquil. The Red Women you encountered previously are a form of disguise we employ from time to time, but not our true form.
Helganquil?
Interesting.
You are on Dake Phasol, a celestial base which drifted here by accident. The will of Rena's Great Spirit no longer reaches us here. Since my sudden separation from the Great Spirit's influence, I have used any and all means to extend my lifespan. As I have done so, I have also set out to monitor and research Rena and Dana from this position.
A question. What is this Great Spirit of which you speak? Is it something that rules over your kind?
Correct. The Great Astral Spirit is a large mass of astral energy that fills all of Rena, one with its own will, a voice we cannot refuse.
A voice? Just like Dana.
So it's a
The voice
sentient
of the Great Spirit speaks to our hearts directly.
mass
and
of
we have served it
Renan
without
astral
question
energy.
Throughout the ages.
Does that mean it was controlling your minds? Wait a second. Could this Great Spirit be the true sovereign of Rena?
Ah.
The true ruler of Rena. It could be the same thing that's controlling Volron.
Wait, back up.
It sure
You're
could.
telling us this great spirit of yours is the one that ordered you things to harvest the astral energy from Dana? I'm not sure I believe that.
Why not? We've already made contact with the will of Dana back in the Wedge, and in the Forbidden Zone on Lenegus. If Dana has a will of its own, I don't see why Rena wouldn't.
Maybe not, but think about what you're saying. If Dana has a will like Rena, then that would mean that we've been controlled by the voice of Dana this whole time, just like these things.
Dana's will hasn't been forcing us to do anything.
Yeah, but...
Let's assume that what Hevrect 35 claims is true, and that we are indeed cut off from both planets. Even if we had previously been under the control of Dana's will, we would have noticed now that we are disconnected.
Your fear is not based in logic. The voice of Dana is much smaller and quieter compared to that of Rena's Great Spirit.
Interesting. How so?
Rena's astral energy is amassed at its center, whereas Dana's is shared among all its constituents. So thinly is that energy spread that it cannot coalesce and formulate a will. Our findings here indicate as much.
Which explains why we felt its will where we did. The Wedge and Lenegus are where so much of that energy had been accumulated.
Aha.
The Great Spirit's desire is to consume all astral energy. And the pursuit of that desire is why you see Rena in its current state. As a result, it has turned its attention toward Dana.
There we go.
Is that why the crown contest is necessary? So that the Great Spirit can feed off
It
of
literally
Dana?
is just a method to harvest astral
Indeed.
energy.
And it was to that end that we Helganquil devised the crown contest. Had the initial spirit channeling from 300 years ago succeeded, all of Dana's astral energy would have been seized.
But the ceremony failed. Lenegis was severely damaged, and you lost both the Sovereign and the Renasalma.
Correct. A change in plan was required to ensure the spirit channeling's success. However, recreating the Renis Alma required a vast amount of energy. That is why we turned to Dana.
So that was the real purpose behind the crown contest. An efficient means to harvest the necessary energy from Dana.
This is all happening because of me.
Yeah, kinda, but not really.
Nevertheless, you still haven't answered one of Alphen's original questions. Just why have you brought us here to your base, Hevrecht 35?
First, it was to confirm the identities of you, my unexpected visitors. Second, it was to ascertain whether you would be likely to accept my request.
A request? But what could someone like you want us to...
I wish for you all to slay the Great
Oh,
Spirit.
okay.
I'm sorry, did you just ask us to kill your master?
A little bit.
I did. It is in your best interest that you do so, I might add.
What makes you say that?
Lenegis has entered the final stage of the spirit channeling plan. As we speak, Dana's energy is being harvested en masse and transmitted to Rena. If nothing is done about the Great Spirit, it will not be long before all is lost.
You're saying the destruction we saw earlier is just the beginning? That...
We won't let that happen.
Why do you want us to kill the Great Spirit so badly? Is it to save our world? To free you, Helganquil, from under its control? Why?
No. My primary concern is validating our findings and analysis, which have taken many years to realize. As such, it is my desire to see how your actions impact and change these systems. However, I will not deny that vengeance also plays a part.
Vengeance? For what?
In spite of our long service to the Great Spirit, our species is on the brink of extinction.
You mean... you're dying?
At this stage, it would be wise for you to talk with the others. Ask them what you need to know. Once you have your answer, return to me. If you agree to help, I shall fix your ship.
Others? Just how many of you are there?
I am the only Helganquil who inhabits Dake Faisal.
Hey! Hey!
It's no use. I think it's done talking to us.
Well, that's,
Let's take a look around.
That's some heavy stuff. It's a lot to process. What is this? Lots of vital signs are displayed. Okay. Well, I guess we gotta go to the other floors then. So...
You can't seriously be buying anything that creature told us, right?
I don't know, man.
I mean, it's practically blackmailing us into doing its dirty work.
To be honest, the conversation went on for so long, I'm not sure I understood all of it. How about you, Dohalim? Were you able to follow it at all?
At the very least, everything it said about the Renin Great Spirit adds up. At the end of the day, this whole chain of events comes back to astral energy.
Sure does.
That being said, had we not previously encountered the will of Dana, I suspect I would find its story much more difficult to believe.
The spirit of Rena wants to see Dana completely destroyed.
But why? Astral energy is supposed to be a force that creates and shapes the world.
Well,
it doesn't matter.
I mean,
I don't care if we're up against an entire
have you
world
seen
or
Rena
what its
lately?
game is. We're not going to let it destroy Dana.
Right.
There is one other thing that concerns me. How the Great Spirit, the Helganquil, and the Crown Contest are all part of a centuries-long plan is clear enough. But what about the Ren?
Yeah, how do they factor into all of this?
Now that you mention it, and all that talk, Hevric 35 never even brought up the Renans once. And as for the Helganquil, we never did find out just what they are either.
Maybe it had a reason for keeping its silence. Or perhaps there's even more going on. Maybe the others will
To
shed
avoid
more light on
spoilers,
that.
I won't say anything else.
Let's
But
find
again,
out.
at this point, mind spinning. Trying to come up with theories and ideas. I'm gonna do a save. Alright, let's go ahead and explore the upper and lower floors. Let's go to the lower level. Is there a star here? There is a star here. Alright, so let's go to the upper level first. What do we got over here? Question mark, question mark, question mark. Ooh. I have livestock that has reached maturity. We can actually see Dana, Lenegis, and Rena, and they're all the way over there. That is, that's pretty fucking far. This room is awesome. Alright, well. That's all that was up here. So let's go back down. To the lower level, where the star is. Let's see who we can talk to down here. It's another big open room. Just check to see if there's anything hiding in here for us. Any stuff we can scoop up. Anything over here? Got a room over here. Anything we can examine in this room? Yes, actually. It measures astral energy fluctuations in Dana and Rena. Fascinating. Absolutely fascinating. There is nothing else in here of interest. Alright. So let's go this way. Toward the star. Here we go. Those look like people.
Who are they?
What is it?
Oh, my apologies. It's just been so long since I've seen any humans from the outside world.
Are you a Renan?
Oh, yeah, I guess so. The Overseer told us to answer any questions you might have. Whatever you want to know, we'll tell you as much as we can. But be quick. Our subjects are undergoing a dramatic shift that we don't want to miss.
Well, that's a weird thing to say, yeah.
He must have meant Hevric 35 when he mentioned that Overseer.
And what was that about subjects? You don't think he meant Dana and Rena?
I think he meant Dana and Rena.
There isn't anyone else we can talk to. I guess we should ask around here.
Alright. Got 3 stars. But are there any other things to examine? Any chests to find? Anything? Not around the outside of the room. There is a thing over here to examine. What's this thing? Appears to maintain constant monitoring to ensure nothing approaches Dig Phasal. Alright. Well, hello, star person.
Have you guys lived up here in Dig Phasal with Hevric 35 for a long time?
Yes. I couldn't tell you off the top of my head just how long it's been, though. We regularly go into stasis, so our sense of time has gotten rather out of whack over the years.
Well, that's interesting.
Why are you all even here in the first place?
Originally, this station was where we worked to perform maintenance on Lenegus from the outside.
We heard that the facility ended up in its current location due to an accident.
Oh, it was terrible. Apparently there was some kind of accident, and when help never arrived, they presumed the entire facility had been destroyed.
And you've been working for Hevrecht 35 ever since?
Well, at first we thought that there was nobody else inside the facility, but then it turned out the Overseer was there all along.
What do you mean?
The Helganquil have the technology to cloak themselves around us Renans.
Interesting.
As long as they don't do anything obvious, a Renan won't see one, even if it's right in front of them.
Which would explain
That
why
would make-
Shion and I failed to notice the Red Women previously.
Yeah.
Do they employ an astral art of some sort?
I haven't been able to scientifically confirm it for myself, but from what I understand, the type of cloaking they use is primarily achieved through mechanical means. In addition, they also used hypnosis devices and information control to get us to do what they wanted without being detected. It's a pretty sophisticated operation, especially since it avoids any unnecessary conflict. I have to imagine that's how Lenegus is still run.
But aren't the Helganquil themselves controlled by the Great Spirit? If so, why aren't Renans affected by it in the same way?
The Great Spirit's mind control only works on Helganquil, so they had to employ other means to manipulate us Renans.
You act like this didn't affect you personally. If I was you, I'd be mad as hell at their deceptions.
I mean, sure, I was surprised when I first found out about it, but it happened so long ago.
Hevrecht 35 has clearly ceased concealing itself, though. Why is that?
Who can say? My guess is it just got bored, or maybe even a little lonely.
Don't you want to go back home to Rena or Lenegus? Our ship is going to be fixed pretty soon. You could ride with us.
No way. If we went back after knowing the truth, they'd either just brainwash us or purge us outright. After all this time, there's nothing to be gained from going back. We've all agreed it'd be best to simply stay here and watch everything unfold instead.
Seems reasonable.
Things are going just fine with the Overseer. Not that it'll be around much longer. It can't extend its life any further. That said, I'm sure it's pleased to see the final stage of the plan before it passes on, though.
Thank you for answering our questions.
Well, that's creepy. Alright. It's like all the worlds and everything and all the people are just a big experiment.
Can we talk to you for a few minutes?
Sure. It's going to be a while before the two planets undergo their next shift, so I can talk until then.
Please, tell us what you know about the Helganquil.
You mean the Overseer's species? I can't say I know much about them.
Well, for starters, where'd they come from?
Where else? From Rena, obviously.
From Rena? Wait, are you telling us those things live right alongside the Renans down there?
Of course not. There's really no such thing as Renans
There
in
you
the
go.
first place.
There it is.
Excuse me?
Oh, I thought the Overseer explained everything.
Apparently not.
Please, tell us more.
Well, in a nutshell, the Renans were originally created from Danans by the Helganquil.
Oh, really?
But if that's true, then that would mean there aren't any people on Rena.
Yeah.
There aren't. But there are Helganquil. That's what the name literally means in their language. People of Rena.
But what need could they possibly have to create a whole new race of people?
It was a way to bolster their dwindling workforce. I trust you're aware that the Helganquil are on the verge of extinction.
So we've
yes?
heard.
In essence, we were created to carry on their work for the Great Spirit after they all die. They gathered Danans who had an affinity for astral arts and proceeded from there. That's why we, as their descendants, can all cast arts.
And that's why the Danans can't.
Degrees.
Let me get this straight. Are you saying Renans were originally created from Danans that the Helganquil kidnapped?
Yeah, a little bit.
Wait, That explains why almost nobody can use Astro Arts on Dana now.
Helganquil technology is truly amazing. The way they alter their bodies is far less invasive than your conventional surgeries. They have these tiny machines
I love the camera
that are
angles here.
practically invisible, which they insert into their bodies and...
Enough! You needn't tell us anymore.
How can you speak so calmly
Because
about
they're
all of
so
this?
far gone.
I guess I can see how, when viewed in a certain light, their ways may sound grotesque. But if you ask me, I think they ultimately did us a favor. They saved us from crawling the earth in ignorance. If it meant their hands had to get a little dirty in the process, then so be it. Anyway, the Helganquil are the real Renans. Personally, I don't think it's such a big deal. They're also mostly the ones behind what you see going on between the two planets. I think that covers just about everything worth knowing.
I think so.
I see. Thanks for filling us in.
So it would, you know, I don't mind
Does he really
lore
expect us
dumps
to
like
believe
this,
that Renans never truly existed?
but
Absurd.
Dohalim.
I feel like they could have done it
Just when I
better.
think we're getting to the bottom of it all, some new revelation smacks us in the
Man,
face.
this second part of the game really does feel
And let's hope this is our
very
last
rushed.
revelation for a while.
Emphasized by the fact that the other lights from the wedge are all optional. Like, they should have been integrated into the main
Do
story.
you know anything about a spirit channeling plan?
But the problem is, the
If
game
you
would have
mean
been
the first plan
100
from
hours
300
long,
years ago, then
because the
yes.
first part of the game
Do you
is
know what its main
so
objective
long.
was?
Yes. It
It's
was to
too
use
long.
Lenegis to siphon off Dana's astral energy.
And this
and
part's
send it
too
to
short.
Exactly. However, there were two problems we had to consider. First was how to collect and send such a large quantity of astral energy without it becoming sentient. Second, we had to figure out how to convert Dana's energy
That's
so it
the
would
spirit
be
channeling
compatible with
ceremony.
I take it the solutions to those problems were to use the wedge for the collection, and then the Sovereign and Maiden to convert the energy.
We have a winner. However, the first plan failed when the Sovereign was overwhelmed and became frenzied.
Yeah, that was me. That was
The
me.
reason for that is because the Maiden lost control. I'm told he slaughtered many Renans in Helganquil that day. For the next plan, we tried to recreate the Renis Alma, but we didn't have nearly enough of the other non-dark astral energy types. To amend that, we set our sights on Dana, and implemented a system whereby we could extract energy from it.
And the crown contest began.
Mm-hmm.
Correct. Since the Maiden had been the failing point in the previous plan, it was decided to replace her role with machinery to avoid further mishaps. A new Sovereign had to be made as well. It was such tremendously difficult work, its success was dubious. But from the look of things, it would appear such worries were unfounded.
So that's what the purpose of that room we found in the Forbidden Zone was.
What about the flower that sprouted from Rena?
Flower? Oh, that thing. That's the physical manifestation of all the astral energy that's been harvested from Dana. As I'm sure you've noticed, it's quite a lot of energy. At this point, it's likely that it's become physically integrated with Rena's planetary structure.
Hevrecht 35 mentioned that the spirit channeling plan is entering its final stage. Is that true?
It is. I never thought I would live to see the day with my own eyes. And yet here we are. Are we done talking now? If it's all the same to you, I'd really rather not miss anything that's about to happen.
He talks like the potential end of the world is just another day on the job.
You've got to remember that these guys have been living alone up here for a long time. Who knows what shape their minds are in?
That's exactly it.
It feels like our whole world has been turned upside down. Is there anything
Like this,
we know that's
this
still true at this point?
twist
Seriously, I'm still
could
trying
have
to
been
process
like
the fact that we Renans were created by the
that,
Helganquil.
almost like the
let alone
halfway
the
point of the
Sovereign and
game.
Maiden stuff.
Let's take a moment to gather ourselves. I know all of this is a lot to believe and take in, but
I don't know.
I think it's fair to say that we
Pacing in
found the
Tales
answers
games
we've
is
been
usually
looking
much
for.
better.
Does everyone agree?
Agreed.
But the first,
Though
all the
I'll
way up
admit
through the
that I
Volron
never
fight,
expected it to all boil down to
in like a
Ren's
normal
great
Tales
spirit
game,
being behind everything.
Everything
would
that's happened,
typically be like the
everything
first
we've
third
endured,
of the
it's
story.
all because of astral energy.
And to get that energy, the Great Spirit took control of the Helgan.
And here it's like almost the second
and the
third.
Helganquil created the Renans, who went on to invade and rule over the Danans.
Yeah.
Plus,
That's one of my biggest
the reason
issues.
The Great
The
Spirit
pacing
can't
is just
directly
totally
control
off.
the Renans as well is likely because they were originally Danans all along.
Either way, I think it's fair to say we've all had a lot to take in at once. Maybe too much, even. We should probably take it easy and rest our minds a bit. Why don't we all take some time to think things over before we decide on our next move?
That's a good idea, Kisara. If the Renan Great Spirit really is behind all this, then we've got a really big fight ahead of us. Because it's not just Dana on the line, but Rena too. If we're going to do this, we need to be completely sure of ourselves. So let's go ahead and break off for now. We aren't in any immediate danger, so we should be okay. You sure you don't want to be alone right now?
I could ask you the same question.
I figured I'd get all my thinking in while walking around and checking up on everybody.
I'll go along with you. I'm interested to hear what's on everyone's minds too.
Sounds good. Let's go find them.
Alright, party disbanded again.
Everyone's just
now we
going
gotta
their
talk
own
to
way,
everybody.
Yeah. Everything we thought we knew. It was all just a fabrication that the Red Women, that the Helganquil made up.
Right. Assuming we can believe anything that Hevrek 35 has told us, that is.
Well, if the names are anything to go by, it's possible the Helganquil could be behind
I think
the
that's
fruits of Helgen too.
very likely.
But if Hevrek 35 was telling the truth, and this was all just one massive lie, does that mean everything we've done up until now has been pointless?
No.
No, I don't think so. Or at least I hope not. I think it just means we've lost our foothold for now. That's all.
Really? Well then, if we've lost it, I guess we'll just
Yeah,
have
I don't
to
think
find
the
another.
issue is with
All
the
of us
content of
together.
the story. I think
And
the
if we
issue
can't
is
find
with
one,
how
then we'll make a
the
new
story
one.
is
End of
being
story.
told.
Make one, huh?
The story
Let's
itself,
see.
for the most part, is fine.
Right then. Count me in.
And despite how kind of nuts it is at this point, it's actually not that unusual for a Tales game. It's pretty on par with the types of stories that are in Tales games. But it's definitely just the pacing. The pacing is just a big, big issue. Let's heal this guy. What are we gonna get? Happy bottle times 5. I guess that's fine. Hello, Kisara.
Oh, it's you two. Does he seem like he's doing any better now?
He who? Oh, you mean Dohalim,
I think
don't
she
you?
means Dohalim.
I know that we're all struggling to wrap our minds around it all, but he looked like he was taking it really hard earlier.
What do you think about everything we've learned? About the Renans and the Great Spirit and all that?
On some level, I'm not even really sure what to think, to be honest. I mean, the Great Spirit is like a huge natural disaster, but with a mind and will of its own.
Yeah, that's a good way of
But
putting
if
it.
that thing's hell-bent on trying to destroy our planet, then the only thing left for us to do is stop it. As for the Renans, I suppose my feelings on that are a bit more mixed.
How so?
Coexistence between Danans and Renans in Menancia is still a work in progress. In my case, I think that's partly because deep down, I was still on guard around Renans. So, to be told that they're like us, that they're actually just like us is, well, I guess it's a little deflating, to be honest.
You kept a pretty level head.
You mean about the Renans? At the end of the day, the Helganquil and the Great Spirit are the ones who are responsible. But at the same time, I realize that not every Danan is necessarily going to believe that either.
I know you're already aware of this, but the list of grievances the Danans have against the Renans is long, and understandably so. And if people then find out that they're all actually one and the same, yeah, I don't think they're going to take to it too kindly.
Even just among the Danans, I'm sure there'll be some who emerge with power and some who won't. I think if we can find a way to get rid of that imbalance, then we'll be in a truly good place.
Well, first we can try to figure out what to do about the existing conflicts we have.
Yeah. It'd be nice if one day people could learn to get past their hatred like Rinwell did.
It's no small task. We can't pretend like the past didn't happen and ask people to forget their very real pain and suffering.
Right. Everybody has their reasons for feeling the way that they do. But if we just keep yelling at each other about it, we'll never move on. In a worst-case scenario, it might lead to even more people getting killed.
And we all have to figure out how to meet halfway. Not just that, but to also embrace each other's pain, in a sense.
That's an interesting way of putting it.
It's true. Everybody has their own scars, their own trauma. The first step to healing those wounds is to put aside that hatred. It won't be achieved through reasoning, but I think it's a good first step, if nothing else. And now, I think I see a way to move forward. But to do that, first we need to make sure our planet isn't going to get wiped out.
Alright. We got Ridwell over here.
You both seem awfully calm.
Only because after everything we've seen, we don't have the energy to keep being
I
shocked.
think that's a good way to put it,
How are
Shion.
you holding up, Rinwell? That whole talk about the Renans looked like it shook you up a bit.
Yeah. I get this sinking feeling whenever I remember how Danan mages like my family were persecuted and died out. And now, I finally know why that is. But I was thinking, if Renans end up living together with Danans again, then mages won't be such an unusual thing to see on Dana anymore, right? I know it's not as simple as all that, but Danans probably won't be so quick to let their guards down, and there might be Renans who still act superior because of their arts.
It wouldn't surprise me. 300 years of bad blood and prejudice isn't going to be an easy thing to overcome.
Yeah. I know firsthand just how much hatred can take hold in your heart once you let it in. But even so, I was still able to change. And if I can change, so can anyone else. So I was thinking maybe, I don't know, I could use my position as both a Danan and a mage to help bring both sides together.
There you go.
That great spirit worries me too, though.
Be an ambassador.
Dana's will feels so warm and inviting. So why is Rena's will trying to destroy our entire planet?
Now that you mention it, Everick 35 and the other scientists here never really brought that up.
Probably out of self-preservation.
Maybe they don't know either.
Maybe.
I would think.
But regardless, at the end of the day, Dan is still our home.
It needs astral
There's
energy
no
to keep
way
existing.
We can let it be destroyed.
We won't. We'll keep it safe no matter what.
Alright, we got more people to talk to. We've got Law.
I still can't believe it, man.
You're not the only one still trying to make sense of all this. Believe me.
Really? You've never struck me as the type of guy to get hung up on these sorts of things.
Did you forget what happened back in Thistleum? Once my memories started coming back to me, I felt completely
I remember that part.
totally lost.
It was really that bad for you?
Yeah, it was. But thanks to Law and everybody else, I remembered that I still had things out there worth fighting for.
Man, I think you might be a better guy than me, Alphen. All I can remember thinking was, when's this guy gonna get his act together?
Law.
I was too worried about repeating the same mistakes I'd made back with my dad, and running away from the truth. That was no way to live. And I've tried to stay strong, my way. But all this talk about other races and the world ending, if I can be honest with you guys, it's just all too much for me to handle right now.
I know this is going to sound strange coming from me, but maybe the key is not to worry too much about the big stuff right now.
Oh?
I used to worry all the time about my thorns, for obvious reasons. But I never really opened up to anyone about them. And when I realized my visions pointed to a threat that was bigger than me, I didn't know what I should do, or who to tell. But that's when I finally got it. You guys were all there for me, to teach me what's really important. I just had to open up and listen.
In other words, if you let the big picture stuff get you all muddled up inside, you'll begin to lose sight of what you really care about. Yeah, I think you're right.
The thing that's most important, what I really care about, all I want to do is protect the people that really matter to me, to fight for them. That's good enough, right?
Sure.
Not everyone is strong enough to fight.
Huh?
It's something your dad told me once when he was still alive. Law, you know you're strong enough to fight, and you're strong enough to protect the people you care about. Forget all the big stuff going on. Just don't lose sight of what you want to protect in the first place. Sound good?
Yeah, I think it does. It's like a big weight's been lifted off my shoulders. I'll fight to protect the people around me. Just like I always have. I think that's best.
There we go. Got one more person to talk to. Mr. Dohalim. How you doing over here?
I apologize for making you witness that.
You mean hearing the origins of the Renans?
Indeed. It's shocking to have so many things I thought to be indelible fade away in mere seconds.
Even I'm still not sure everything we've heard here is actually true.
Let's not delude ourselves. If what we've heard is a lie, it's a rather elaborate one.
Indeed.
I can
Seems
only
pretty true to
imagine
me,
that you
man.
must have been constantly feeling like this, ever since your memory returned, Alphen. And you as well, Shion. About your thorns, and being a maiden.
That's just part of being alive, don't you think?
Well, to say the least. But enough about me. I'm not concerned for myself. What concerns me is all of the other Renans out there.
When you say the other Renans, you mean the ones that are living on Lenegis or Dana, right?
Correct. Even if we stop the Great Spirit from annihilating Dana, our problems will still remain. Putting aside the untold state that Rena may be in, if we do not truly belong there, we will have to think long and hard about where it is that we wish to return to.
So, I guess your only real choices at this point are to either stay on Lenegis or come down to Dana, huh? And right now, Lenegis might not even be a safe option.
Clearly.
And at the same time, Danans are hardly likely to embrace Renans with open arms. If the issue is forced, things could turn dire. There is, after all, 3 centuries worth of hatred to overcome between us. And the victims of our rule have absolutely every right to feel animosity towards us Renans. Our own circumstances as the aggressors are irrelevant.
I didn't expect the former Lord of Menancia to be so down about people reconciling.
Menancia's fate was a stroke of good luck. There had been backlash over how it had been ruled, and I was blessed to have sympathizers among my ranks. Still, even now, there remain ardent dissidents.
But things can still change if you have the right people to help lead the way. Isn't that what you hope to achieve on Lenegis, after this is all over?
Indeed. I have fully accepted the burden of that responsibility. In that regard, I remain determined. On that note, I have something of a favor to ask of you, Alphen.
Oh? What is it?
I wish for you to serve as a mediator, so that the Renans can live on Dana peaceably. As the one and only Blazing Sword, I suspect the Danans may listen to what you have to say when problems arise.
And I take it that you'll be the one to represent the Renans?
Yes. I realize that I'm asking quite a lot of you. However, the fact of the matter is that it will take time for Renans to re-enter Danan society without any bloodshed. That is why...
You're the same as ever, Dohalim.
Is it too much?
No, relax. You get so tense and formal when you're asking for a favor. Listen, there's no need for that. We're friends.
You're too kind.
Friendship.
I can see you were raised well.
That's some high praise, Alphen.
The power
And I'll ask once again.
Of
This
friendship
time just
strikes
as
again.
friends. Alphen, will you help me?
You don't even need to ask. Of course I will.
Thank you, my friend.
Well, there we go. We've talked to everybody.
It sounds like everyone's learning from their past and using it to create a better future for everyone.
What about you, Shion? How do you feel about the origin of the Renans?
To be honest, I'm not really all that shocked, actually. I mean, I might be a Renan in the literal sense, but I've never really felt like one of them. Right now, it's kind of a mystery.
How do you mean?
Because for a really, really long time, all I ever thought about was how I was going to die. Not if or when, but how. I thought I'd die alone. That fate had me in its steely grip. I would have never imagined that I'd be traveling with someone like you, fighting to save Rena and Dana. I mean, how could I have? It's been going on for 300 years. All this tragedy and destruction. When you consider the Helganquil's part in all this, it's been even longer than that. It was Naori's hope that somehow, someone in the future would be able to stop it, before it was too late. How it fell on us, of all people, to heed that call, is a mystery.
I don't think Naori was hoping that we would just stop the world from getting destroyed. She considered me, a Danon, as a real person. And she very much cherished her own people, too. I don't think she wanted the world to be saved, just so they could go back to hurting each other.
Unfortunately, we really don't know any of those
Maybe
answers.
This is what she meant.
Because we don't get anything else from
When
Naori
we were talking
at
to
all,
Kisara
really.
earlier, about all that stuff like everyone's needing to meet halfway and embrace each other's pain and suffering. She said that the first step down that path was for each of us to put aside our own hatred.
Yeah.
That means forgiving other people, even and especially before they forgive you.
Forgiving. So it goes both ways, right? Is that what you're saying?
I think that's what he's saying.
Yeah. I don't just mean forgiving things that happened in the past either. Conflicts will keep happening. If we have any hope of moving on and building a better future, we have to all learn to forgive each other.
You know, you're right. People can hurt one another without even meaning to. I know that better than most, thanks to these thorns.
It's not going to be easy getting past this pain. But if we can do it, I'm sure there'll come a time when we can all truly understand each other. I'm there with you, Shion. I too want to protect the world we live in, and all the people we care about. I think that's the very least I can do to repay Naori for everything that she did.
Yeah. I want a future that she would feel proud to live in, and I'm going to fight for it.
Whoa there, Savior Girl. We're here to save you too, you know.
Yes, I know. Don't worry, I haven't forgotten. I want to live, and that's the honest truth.
Well, that's good to hear. So.
Well, is everybody ready to do what needs to be done?
I am. There's a lot to think about, but at the end of the day, Dan is still in danger. I don't care who we're up against. We'll kick their ass.
What are your thoughts, Alphen? I want to know what's on your mind, too.
Like Law said, if we have to fight the Great Spirit on Rena, and so
I have a
be
feeling we're going to have to fight the Great Spirit on Rena.
It's trying to rob us of our entire world. And it's going to take not just our home, but all of existence along with it. That alone is enough to make it our enemy. But it's not only that. One way or another, I think beating the Great Spirit is going to be tied to us saving Shion.
Interesting.
You're saying there's a chance?
You're referring to the vision of destruction we all saw in Lenegis, I take it?
Yeah.
Yeah. 3 centuries ago, the astral energy that appeared at the spirit channeling ceremony showed Naori that vision. And to hear Shion tell it, it's the same one that she sees from her own thorns as well.
Indeed. Shion's thorns are comprised of dark astral energy, the one type which we know is native only to Rena. And if Rena's great spirit is what's behind Dana's pending destruction, then...
Shion's thorns are the Great Spirit? It's not actually on Rena like we thought?
We don't know anything for certain. At the very least, though, I think it's possible her thorns are a part of the Great
I think
Spirit.
that's a very likely possibility.
While the main body resides in Rena.
Shion.
If these thorns really are a part of Rena's great spirit, I'm going to go over there and give it a piece of my mind and then some.
Who's with me?
The question is, how do we confront it? Suffice it to say, that flower growing out of Rena is enormous, large enough to house the will of an entire planet. The Wedge and Lenegis were both hard enough for us to overcome in their own right. This is an altogether greater challenge for merely 6.
And we only know about the Thorns connection thanks to Naori.
Hevric 35 has been observing the great astral spirit this whole time.
Mm-hmm.
It wouldn't ask us to fight it unless it has a plan of some sort. Let's go see what that is.
All right. We're gonna go see what that plan is next time on Dragon Ball Z. So guys, this seems like a really good spot to wrap things up. So we didn't get all of the big truth bombs in this stream, but we got almost all of them. We still have to go talk to Hevric 35, but we'll do that at the start of the next stream. So yeah, this was a heady segment of the game, and it speaks to how bad the pacing is, I think, because I'm glad we were able to get most of it into one stream, because this stream was a lot of me sitting here watching cutscenes. This game really does like to take a 2-hour segment and dump all of the lore at the same time, and that's not great. But it's really cool lore. I really like a lot of the reveals here. So we still have a little bit more before we get to really the end game. But we are basically at the turning point of the game, where we now pretty much know what the stakes really are, and who the main actors really are. And now we have the call to action to actually do something about it. So, we are reaching the last segment of the main game. Now that said, there is a lot of side stuff I want to do. So next stream, what we're probably going to be doing is we're going to finish up here, and then at some point we're going to get the ability to go back to Dana. I think we get like control of the starship or something. I don't totally remember, but we will be able to return to Dana and do more of those quests. So we're going to have a lot of quests to do. We're in the mid-40s, I think. We're at like level 44 ish. We didn't really gain many levels today because we didn't really do much fighting. But we are going to have to start to reach, I think, a little bit, because there are definitely going to be some of these giant Zoogles we can take out, but a lot of them are going to be in the 50s as far as levels go. So we may have to do a little bit of tough fights with high-level Zoogles, and we may have to cook and try to get like the experience up stuff to try to gain some quick levels, because some of these side events are really going to push us to like level 60-ish enemies. That's going to be a bit of a struggle, but I think once we start doing it, it'll come together fairly quickly. And all we'll really have to do is restock our item supply, just about. So we are going to do a number of side stuff, probably in the next stream, depending on how quickly we can get through the rest of this Dake Phasal stuff. So that being said, thank you guys so much for watching, whether you're watching live here on Twitch or after the fact on the Twitch VODs or the YouTube VODs. However you are watching, thank you very much. I greatly appreciate it. The next stream will be on Monday, and that is December 6th. Monday, December 6th at 7 p.m. Eastern Time until about 9:30-ish. We went a little bit long today, but that's okay. We may go, we'll go as long as we need to go. So like I said, what we're going to do, we're going to finish up here, Dig Phasal. We're going to talk to Hevrek 35, find out what the plan is, likely agree to it, and then we'll have our marching orders. But we will then, at that point, probably take a break and go and try to clean up a lot of the side stuff. The main things I want to do, I'm not going to, try to 100% this game, because I already did. I already platinumed it. So there's some things I just don't care about doing this time through. But what I definitely want to do, I want to do as many of the giant Zoogle fights as we can, just because those give us Astral Flowers. Astral Flowers are really helpful. They also give us experience. I definitely want to do the 3 other lights. I want to do them. They're tough. We'll do the giant Zoogles first, probably. But then we'll do the 3 lights. I want to make sure we do those, especially the Spirit Temple one, because that one's going to be important. We have to do the Spirit Temple one in order to do the cameo fight in the postgame. So coming up, we have a lot of side quests. We're going to try to do those big Zoogle fights, try to do the three other lights. Going to try to make sure we get all that stuff done. After that, we're probably going to push to the end of the game. But we're not going to finish doing Tales of Arise with completing the game, because there is additional content post-game. And I want to do the main one of those things, and that is the cameo fight, which is wrapped up in a whole event. And I want to do that whole event. And it's going to be really cool. It's going to be so cool. Thanks for hanging out, ATD09. Especially if you've seen if you're familiar at all with previous Tales games, it's going to be really, really cool. So all that being said, we are going to wrap things up here. Like I said, Monday, December 6th is going to be the next stream. That's going to be 7 p.m. Eastern Time until about 9:30-ish. And we're going to finish up here and maybe do some side stuff. So I hope you're excited for that. I know I am. I'll see you then. Good night.